Hello everyone, welcome back to GDQ Hotfix and welcome to Parallel Universe. I'm Helix, back from commentating Project Plus just a little bit ago. Shout out to Shaz's Do All the Things. But yeah, this is my show that I co-host with Limey. You know, we take turns. This show, Parallel Universe, is about community-created content. So we're talking fan games, mods, custom levels, things of that nature. And speaking of mods, I am here with Cheese J, who will be running Super Mario Odyssey Kaizo mode. Cheese J, how you doing?
Hello.
Really quick, before we get started, I just want to mention to everyone that GDQ is hiring. So if you love creative work and have experience in planning and organizing, then you can apply to be a prize assistant at our mainline events. Visit gamesdonequick.com/jobs by May 11th to apply. That's coming up sooner than you think, so get on that. And now I believe Cheese J should actually be audible. Thank you, chat, for pointing that out. Cheese J, how are you doing?
Okay, sorry about that. I just did not have my mic selected in OBS for some reason. Just deselected it for no reason. But
that's happened to me before too.
Yeah. Okay, I'm showcasing Super Mario Odyssey Kaizo mode, and as I said, I'm here with Karate Man in the commentary booth. I believe you could hear Karate Man though.
Hopefully they can hear me.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we're good to give a countdown now, and we can get into what Kaizo mode is and all that in a minute here. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, good luck.
Thank you for the good luck, Helix. Thank you for the good luck, Karate Man. Okay. What is Super Mario Odyssey Kaizo mode? It is a mod made by SMO Joy-Con and Red Sleigh that aims to make all 880 moons in this game more difficult. And in this run, we're going to go through the 90% portion and grab the fastest moons to beat the main story of the game. But real quickly here, some just normal vanilla game tech. Well, I'm going to start the run here by doing spin pound, which is done by spinning the stick twice. I'm going to transition that into a roll. And the way you roll is just by shaking the controller. So there are a ton of motion controls in this game, but you kind of just get used to them by running the game a little bit.
In the very beginning, there's really not much difference between this mod and the regular game, but pretty soon you'll see some differences.
Yeah, and about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The first change right here. As you can see, there's some signs here. I almost messed up my movement there, but I'm alive, so that's all that matters. All that matters is I don't die there. And then we're going to head right into our next change immediately in this sub area too. Typically there's a frog here, but there is not, so we're just going to do this from frogless. Nothing too crazy yet. This has been kind of known since like the dawn of this game, essentially.
The movement that's being used in this room is actually more consistently used in the minimum capture speedrun, so you avoid the frog capture in this room.
Yeah. Oh, the Spongy is going to be an issue. Okay, there we go. Oh, get hacked. There we go. Pretty good program. That was a really good reaction by me there to dodge that Spiny. I always bonk on that roll. Okay, this is a trick known as the upside. We're just going to scale the cap tower a little bit quicker. And I messed it up because Mario didn't want to wall jump. But that's okay. It's a really easy backup. Oh,
it's also not the easiest trick doing left side there to skip around the tower.
Okay.
Here we've got the topper fight. There's not too much different in this fight either. It's pretty normal other than the 3 Spinies walking around, but Jay can avoid them very easily.
Yeah, easy enough. Let's hope I don't spawn on one here. Yeah, nice, easy. Okay, not the cleanest Captain in the world, but it'll do. Yeah, there's another Kaizo mod called Superstar Mode, and that was made in like 2018, I want to say, by Scullux. This is a more recent mod that was made like a year ago now by SMO Joy-Con and Red Sleigh, like I said. So 2 different mods. The Superstar Mode mod was like an unfinished project. This one's completely finished.
Superstar Mode changed a lot of the game and definitely made things harder, but compared to Kaizo mode, this has all 880 moons in the entire game made significantly harder.
Yeah. I want to grab this for safety. Okay, I'm doing a trick known as FMS here, but I'm still going to be grabbing the first moon later. I just have to wall jump off this little sliver of wall right here to get underneath the invisible barrier.
So that's a trick in the very first version of the game to skip getting the first moon and narrowly make it through 2 invisible walls.
Yeah. It's used in this mod because the down node doesn't exist anymore, so it's the only way to get up to the boss fight. And we are running on version 1.0, just as that's the easiest version of Super Mario Odyssey to mod. So like 98% of mods I'm gonna say are on this version.
And during our second boss fight here, you'll notice again, there's really not too much different about this fight compared to the original game, just some added blocks in the way that are pretty easy to avoid if you stay on the right angle.
Okay, and that should be it. There we go. Almost messed it up, but it worked out.
Well done. Super impressive stuff already.
Oh,
Yes,
true.
thank you.
That was not only regular FMS earlier. We were not skipping first moon. We were doing wet FMS, according to Philly in chat.
Yeah, so let's not talk about the other version of FMS. Nightmares. Stuff on nightmares. I can't believe people got that consistent back in the day.
You're talking about the vault version?
Yeah, the rock. Yeah, rock
Yeah.
FMS. Not.
That looks very hard.
Yeah, it's not fun. I did used to do it like way back when for a couple of months while 1.0 was still optimal. But yeah, not fun. Okay, now we're gonna grab the first moon I mentioned earlier. Typically, if I grab the first moon now in like a vanilla patch of 1.0, it would crash my game. But the mod developers were nice enough to change the properties of the first moon, so you're gonna see it's just a regular moon now with a shortening cutscene. So it's really, really fast for this mod.
And there's also the addition of this Gushin, which does not normally exist in Cascade Kingdom, but is very helpful for getting these first 2 moons, or last 2 moons.
Yeah, typically I want to grab that moon with the Gushin, but I didn't land after the first moon. It looked like I did, but I didn't, so I didn't get the height for it, so I down capture. That's only like a 2-second time loss.
It really didn't even seem that slow. Like, that was perfect. The angle there.
Typically if you grab the moon with the Gushin, you could fly it back to the Odyssey rather than rolling, which is a little bit faster. That's where the time save comes from. Drain Johnson FMS, yep. Okay, on to sand. You want to explain sand a little bit, Karate Man?
So, sand is going to have quite a few differences. First off, the route is definitely going to be different. There are some moons that are just moved into certain places that are slightly easier, slightly harder to grab. There are some moons that are locked behind doing an actual trick jump. So you'll see as Jay goes for the first story moon a little ways into the kingdom, there's actually a trick jump that's required off of an icicle. And it's a little bit precise.
We do not grab that moon.
Oh, you're not grabbing... My bad. You are not grabbing the story moon.
Yeah. I can't even do that jump consistently, I'll be honest. I'm like 1 in 100 with that jump.
I think that jump took me an hour to do. It's very hard.
I did it third try in my casual playthrough, and I cannot replicate it for the life of me. I just got so lucky.
We won't see all of the various trick jump moons from this mod, but there are quite a few that really push the boundaries of Mario's movement.
Yeah, I am not a trick jumper, so a lot of the moons and like some of the sub areas that require trick jumps I just cannot do, period. That's not how you do that.
But starting off here, we're going to go to the Rumble Room, which is slightly moved, but more or less in the same area as where the pipe typically would be. And the ground pound for that location for that moon is in a completely different spot. We'll notice later on in the run when we make it to Seaside that that Rumble spot is actually just switched with Sand and Seaside.
Yeah, it's just swapped. So it really messes with the muscle memory when I go back to vanilla. But that's okay. I'm also on a bird cycle here that I'm trying not to mess up. I think I want to do something like this and then that. Yeah, that'll work. No.
Don't miss the bird.
That'll work. Oh, that gave me a triple throw.
All right, we'll get it now. Get it next.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have worked if I didn't get a triple throw there. Yeah, because the issue with the triple throw is Cappy comes back to me quicker, so he doesn't go out as far. And do you guys want to explain why I do it? Just stay right there.
Yes,
starting
what you
down.
just saw with the timing change there, that's used as a trick known as daylight savings time abuse. We didn't preset it before the run, so we did it manually. But this will advance the time in the game, so the seed that was planted before entering this area will automatically grow instead of having to wait 20 minutes for it. So as we head back around here, the seed is already grown.
And now we gotta wait for the birds. So, anybody got anything when they want to talk about while we sit here and wait?
I think that I should shout out Summer Games Done Quick 2025, because if you all haven't heard, the games list just came out yesterday. SGDQ 2025, of course, will be live in Minneapolis from July 6th through 13th. You can register by May 26th and use exclamation point SGDQ in Twitch chat, or visit gdq.gg/games to check out the games list.
You guys
Lots
should
of
all
exciting
go
stuff.
because you have a chance to meet both Jay and myself.
And me.
And Helix.
Yeah,
and Helix.
All three of us. All three of us. I'll be there.
Everyone in the commentary booth is going.
And Philly in the chat room.
And Philly.
I was lucky enough to even have a run in. I'll be playing Emergency Call Ambulance as part of Silly Block.
If you like this game, you'll see it at SGDQ as well.
Exactly. Yes, the co-op run, the two-player run.
Yes, I'm so excited for that one. I'm so happy that run got accepted. I'm always going to be vouching for my speed game.
So the last 3 moons we just saw, the one under the archway, the one where there was a patch of birds, and that cactus we had to move, those are all pretty similar to their original versions, but they were slightly moved. So the one under the roof used to be above the roof, the birds used to be near an oasis, and that cactus, you still have to move the cactus that you capture, but instead of ground pounding underneath that one, you have to bop the tiny little circular cactus out of the way, and then you get the moon from there.
Yeah, Helix got into Silly Block, I believe.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, now there is a clip I could do for this upcoming moon, but you're going to see it whenever I enter the out of bounds, it's raised into the air, which makes the out of bounds a little bit tricky, so I just don't bother. And I'm going to be doing a different out of bounds clip after this moon is compromised.
We're going back to the OG clips.
Yeah, do you want to explain the next clip I'm going to do?
So this next clip was used in some of the original speedruns for Mario Odyssey before the 1.3 update came out. This is called Sphinx Clip, and it's going to be used to get into the Sphinx's treasure vault without having to answer any of his questions.
First try, let's go.
First try, nicely done.
That's a very long time since I've gotten that clip first try.
A little bit extra coin grinding for some moons here.
Yeah, I'm actually okay with that recapture because I didn't get very many coins on that other side. Okay, now I want to jump out this way, and there's going to be a moon around the corner I want to grab. There we go. That'll work. Oh, let's not jump off the edge. I always take that movement a little bit safe because it's very easy to jump off that edge and die.
Yeah, even when you were showing me your previous PB, you had a pretty close call around that edge too.
Yeah, that was a little bit ballsy right there too.
Gonna get our final 2 moons for Sand Kingdom here in the Invisible Maze. The first one is holding Cappy on the skull sign, which was just moved to an area where you can't actually see it on camera. Not that bad to find. But the second moon in this room is a little bit harder because there's an invisible wall under this next doorway that you have to slip under.
Yeah, hellish. It's like this gap I'm gonna slip under is like a couple pixels tall.
First try.
Yeah, it's not fun. I'm dead. Oh, I thought I died. Oh. I did not want to do this room again.
And we are done with sand.
I thought I died there too. I didn't think I made it to the invisible platform next to that pipe.
You looked pretty far when you were doubling back from the invisible wall too. Like you held back midair, but you still made it under.
Yeah, because I screwed up my setup. Okay, that's one of the better stands I've gone in recent time. On to Lake. Lake is going to be a pretty quick one. We're going to be in and out. A lot of the moons are really quick, but the exciting part is the Rango boss fight at the very end. Pretty flashy. Hopefully I can get it first try.
Yes, the mod developers did everything they could do to make these boss fights as interesting as possible, as out of the box as they could. But with Rango, there are some ways to avoid the extra obstacles.
Yeah. There's a specific setup I can do, so as long as I nail the setup, I should have the fight in the bag. It really just comes down to nailing like the first phase, essentially. If I get the first phase down, the rest of the fight's pretty textbook, pretty scripted. But first up, we have this moon, and we mentioned Superstar mode earlier. This first moon right here is like copy-paste from Superstar mode. They just both have the same idea, so I just get to... The movement from that mod just carries over.
The only hard part about that moon is finding it, because gamers do not look up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real.
Hide and seekers now.
There's quite a few times in this mod where the devs tried to hide things further up where people wouldn't look. Especially, I'm thinking some of the nuts coming up in Wooded Kingdom.
Yeah, a lot of the moons in this mod as well are just like hidden underneath something. So if you're on top of a platform, just look underneath it and you'll find a moon almost every single time. It's like literally 70% of the hidden moons in this game. I'm gonna grab this heart so I don't get the health refill, and I'm gonna bonk in about 1 second. Oh, shocking.
No bonk.
Okay, Rango boss fight coming up here after this moon. I gotta shake my controller to get Cappy back. There we go. Okay.
Now comes the interesting part with Rango. As you can see, there's 4 of these massive rollers in the middle of the arena. They make it a little bit hard to find an area to stand that's safe. But as you can see, Jay is staying down here in the bottom of the arena where it's slightly safer.
Let's not die. I might be dead. Oh, I don't like this. Come this way. I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna do that, and then he's gonna do that, and then we're gonna do that. Okay. This is completely improv. This is not go according to plan, but I did kill him.
You know, if it works, it works. Backups are still strats.
I just completely thought of that on the fly. I've never done that before.
That's awesome. What a close call. Wow. I mean,
Even after Rango's gone, you got to make sure you're not taking damage.
Yeah.
That was shocking that worked. That was comedy.
Improv can be so important in difficulty mods like this one.
Yeah, just so everyone is aware, that is not how you're supposed to do that fight.
Some Epsilon in chat. If you think this looks insane, we are still in the very beginning of this run.
Yeah. Okay, on to Wooded. Wooded is the first split in the early game. I would say that's the first kind of roadblock for me. There's like this entire split all the way through is difficult. I don't really get a breather. Just full of trick jumps and stuff.
Yeah, there's some pretty interesting movement in Wooded. It is sending you kind of all over the kingdom, but if you can nail the various trick jumps, it does look very, very cool.
Yeah, hopefully I can do that.
While you're on the way, just want to quickly shout out the rest of the Hotfix lineup. You all can go to gamesdonequick.com/hotfix to check it out, and to click through to the in-depth schedule for a better look at what's coming up this weekend.
That's not going to make it on top, but come on. Okay, there we go. That tree, which is very apparent, does not have much of a hitbox to stand on there, so it takes a little bit of precise finicking to get on top of that tree.
But that would be the first trick jump moon we're getting here, after standing on the literal 1 pixel on the top of the tree.
Okay, let me do that. There we go. Okay, so there was a minute I was doing there to get the bunny, because if I don't grab the bunny right there, it is a nightmare to back it up. It's borderline impossible.
All of those tiny bunny moons in this game were made much harder because the bunnies jump to further locations, and they jump much faster than they would in the normal game.
Yeah, that bunny right there has moon gravity, so it's just almost impossible to catch any other way than the way I just did it.
I will say, though, one of the hardest things the mods changed in this game is the shot moon going from 100 coins to 101 coin. It's so hard.
I need to collect 4 extra coins throughout the run. However, will I do it? Okay. We're gonna climb this very tall tree coming up here, right in front of me.
A little bit of regular any percent movement. That is until you get to the top of the tree.
Yeah, with this stretchy boy. Also, this movement's blind here. Right now, I'm blind. I just have to know what I'm doing.
Definitely feels a bit intentional from the developers.
Okay, let's put this safe. Let's just nice and slow. No reason to rush anything.
And here's another trick jump.
Oh, that's okay.
That's a little low.
Yeah, I should have just done a regular lane, but made it look like I was far away. Luckily, it's not too bad of a backup. I just gotta come around this way. Just gotta do it the intended way.
And we're right back on track.
Yeah, not too bad. Oh, nice ledge grab. Okay, not right here. Oh, let's not panic, please. I fat fingered an input. That'll work. Okay, then I gotta slip onto that platform right below me. I wanted to ground pound that up, but that didn't happen.
And we've got yet another cool trick jump coming up here. Trying to get on top of the giant rock wall that you would normally destroy with tanks, but the tanks have not spawned in yet.
Okay. So there's a triple jump you can do to wrap around that corner. It's really hard to set up. Those platforms are tiny, so I'm just gonna come around here and stand on something that doesn't exist instead. And do that. And then I'm gonna cheat and climb this wall. And then there's a nut coming up around this corner. I don't have the most speed in the world, but it'll work. There we go. So you can tell that this entire wood, I'm trying not to fall down. I pretty much have to stay suspended in the air for like a lot of this routing. Oh, no, that's not.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm falling. But luckily there's a platform right here that I'm gonna have to wait one more cycle for. Okay.
Yeah, as you can see, this mod is very, very difficult to speedrun. Even to play casually can be pretty difficult.
I was gonna say, I certainly wouldn't be able to do any of this, not without some serious practice.
Yeah.
A very fun little triple jump here to another nut hiding all the way up in the corner. Once again, gamers do not look up. So a lot of people tend to miss that nut.
There we go. Oh, let's side flip. Okay, that was a little bit scary. There we go. And then I'm gonna go around this corner right here. Another spot where if I fall, I'm losing buckets, so let's not do that. Got it.
What a save. You lost a lot of height there.
Yeah. And then this part's one of my most favorite pieces of movement in the whole run. Doing this wooded tower captureless is such a pleasure every time. So much fun.
So normally you'd have the uproot that you could climb this whole tower with in order to get this first nut moon. And then on the very top, there's an extra moon you could stretch your legs with the uproot to reach. But in this mod, it's been lowered a little bit. So it's just ever so slightly easier to reach without the nut.
And then we go in from my favorite piece of movement to my least favorite thing in the mod immediately. Not this next movement, the one after that, or the next two after that. This final sub area is a pain in my booty. And it's not very well designed or fun.
There's also some slightly awkward movement going around the corner here. If you mess this up, it is very easy to fall into deep woods, which again loses quite a lot of time.
Yeah. Okay. Gonna play it safe. Gotta get around this corner. Those platforms don't respawn.
Oh, I actually didn't know those didn't respawn.
Okay, this sub area right here is what the one I was mentioning. I think if I just let it speak for itself, you'll see why it's bad and annoying and frustrating. There's no way of doing this fast. Okay, there is, but let's just say the record holder has nailed the fast chat like 1 out of 10 times. It's just stupid.
If you thought that room was hard normally, now you've got no cappy, moon gravity, and fast-moving water.
Let's make it through that. There we go. Oh, that's actually a nice cycle I caught there.
Bit of a triple whammy in this sub-area, but nicely done.
Threaded the needle on that jump. Nice.
Yeah, I think I still had iframes whenever I was going to that last moon. Okay, on to Cloud. Cloud is pretty easy peasy.
I think Cloud's more comedic than anything.
Yeah. They like barely changed it. There's a manip you can do for the Cloud Bowser boss fight that makes it essentially vanilla for phases 2 and 3. So if you've seen like regular Odyssey 80%, it'll look very, very similar. Okay. Oh, it's my time and date 2027. Yeah. That's because of the DSTA thing we mentioned earlier in Sand.
You're 2 years in the future?
I guess so. My time of day is nowhere near accurate ever in this game. Or on either of my Switches for that matter at any point. This game has just ruined the clock for me forever. Okay, so this first phase is going to be a little bit changed. Bowser is going to be floating in the sky because he can do that. And I need to get up to him. Well, not necessarily. I'm essentially just doing the intended shot, which is a little bit slower here for this first phase. Just because I don't want to jump up to him. I'd rather have him come to me.
Bowser's just cool like that. He likes floating.
The Bowser has the ability to float in 2027, I see.
Yeah, and then if I just stand in the middle there, he'll just jump down and fight me. It's that simple. It doesn't even matter where Mario's looking. As long as I'm just in the middle of the arena, he'll jump down. It's quite literally easier than the vanilla game manip that you see in speedruns. So, yeah.
If you don't do this manip to force Bowser back down, he'll start jumping around on the cloud blocks up there, which you can't see it on screen right now, but center of the arena, there's an extra cloud block even higher up than the one Bowser's currently standing on.
Can I have the hat, please? Okay. Okay. So, I don't know what went wrong there on the third phase. I have no idea why that failed. Luckily, I can... There we go.
You just gotta tap him and he loses his flight abilities.
Okay, on to Lost, which is very fun in this mod, just like in regular Odyssey.
Lost is just always quick, fast-paced movement in a very small kingdom, so makes for some good movement, good sights.
Okay. Just like vanilla Odyssey, we're gonna start off with Main Tree here.
Now there's some pretty cool routing in this kingdom. You'll notice at one point, to reach back up to the top, we're gonna go completely out of the way to reach a slingshot. But it is faster than climbing back up to the top normally or warping.
And this is a pretty cool moon right here, too. Oh, if I could roll. Let's do this. There we go. That'll work. I got them all. Yep.
So there's one flower missing from that garden there, and he's going to hit it right now to spawn that moon. But we're not going to go back and collect that moon for quite a bit.
That timer is way more generous than I thought, because I just missed my capstone and it still worked out.
Yeah, cave gardening's pretty generous in this mod. We're going for still one more moon before getting back to cave gardening. So we're going to come all the way out here to an area where we can't even collect a moon until post-game.
I'm going to not take damage to that Wiggler. I just froze. I didn't want to get hit.
And taking the slingshot all the way back up to the top.
Ah, that should have worked. I turned the camera just a little early.
In this game, there's a couple of objects like that butterfly or a UFO in Moon Kingdom that offer you a moon if you hit Cappy with it. But if you happen to miss them before they float away, you can just stand in the spot they were already in and go first person mode, and they'll respawn right where Mario's standing. Makes it very easy.
Okay, I'm going to play this safe. I've messed up this moon before, so I'm just playing it nice and slow. The last, like, 2 runs I've gone in here, I've really messed up that moon and lost a lot of time. Even though it looks easy, I just somehow go under it. Then I gotta jump around this corner here. Okay, you know what? That's not gonna matter. I can do... Oh, that was actually a mistake. I shouldn't have done that in hindsight.
Originally, what was supposed to happen is at the very end of the kingdom, you'd death warp back to the Odyssey, but
Please.
now, if you die, you'll be warped back to that checkpoint. So we'll just have to do a manual warp to the Odyssey is all.
You know what? Watch this. I'm going to be clutch. Give me a second here. I'm going to clutch up. Yeah, it's about thank you for the good luck. I appreciate it. Okay.
Oh, trying to get the first frame.
Yeah, I have a 1-frame window where if I open the map, I can warp off the poison. Did not happen there. So just going to lose a little bit of time. Not a big deal, though.
And then we've got one last cool strap before leaving the kingdom.
Yeah, this is Nemo Dram.
So leaving Cappy behind there, as soon as you grab the moon, you shake the controller to home in, and Cappy immediately warps you into the Odyssey cutscene.
Okay, and just like that, we're going to be on the Metro here, which is going to be the halfway point of the run. So, yeah. And I start off the night Metro and day Metro, for that matter, by doing a jump called the Impossible Jump, which is quite the opposite, actually, as it turns out. If you know any trick jumps from this game, you probably know this one.
Back in the early days of Odyssey, this was genuinely considered to be impossible, but after, what are we, 7.5, 8 years since Odyssey's release now, people have pushed the movement so far beyond what they thought was possible. So this impossible jump is very easy.
Wow, so hard.
I love seeing that progression in games, you know, things that
Yeah.
everyone thought was impossible, you know, 5-10 years later, they're doing stuff like that regularly.
Oh, I always bonk on that sign, like every run. You would think I learned. Okay, this right here is called left row, I believe. Oh, whoops, no, let's do... That'll work. Great, yeah. That, and then I want to triple jump off this bit. And that'll let me get up here a little bit quicker than going a little bit of a longer way around.
Typically...
And I just need to hope...
Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, I need to hope these flies don't scare me, and they did not.
Typically in vanilla, any percent, you would be collecting a moon called Girder Sandwich on the way up to the tower to climb inside. But in this mod, we're not collecting that moon. We're just going straight up the tower as fast as we can so we can get to the Mecha Wiggler, or the non-existent Mecha Wiggler.
Oh. Yeah, and they changed City Hall, so there's no ground here, so it's like an only up portion. And it's not the only up portion we'll see tonight.
It's probably the easiest only up portion you'll see tonight.
Yeah. Still very punishing if I fail any of the jumps, though, so I need to make sure I'm locked in. And I'm... Oh my... None of my inputs work there. None of them. I dropped like 3 inputs in this section.
Were you too close to the wall for Cappy to come out? Was that what happened?
That could have been it, yeah. Okay, not a big deal. Need
Good backups.
Okay, not bad. Okay, now this jump is actually the hardest part of the rim. Oh, I don't like how close I'm to that wall.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's like 2 minutes. That's bad. I'm just gonna die. That's bad. I have to do a whole room over again. Rip.
So that is basically the only way across. You might be able to do an extra trick jump from the question mark blocks that are on the right side wall, but it's intended to jump from that chest there where the moon was gotten from, which is a very, very hard jump to aim. The positioning of the chest was raised in this mod, but even making that jump in vanilla can be very, very difficult.
Okay, almost back up. There we go. This'll work this time.
Yeah, looking much better.
Yeah, I was just too close to the wall the first time.
right, now it's everyone's favorite part of a Mario Odyssey speedrun. It's the Mecha Wiggler boss fight.
Oh, come on. That's gonna capture again. That. Okay, I'm actually doing worse at this than the actual Wiggler boss fight. There we go. So that's the boss right there. I had to knock the head off that guy.
So as you'll notice, there was no Mecha Wiggler at all. There was just that tropical Wiggler from Lost Kingdom. And that is the boss fight. All you have to do is despawn that tropical Wiggler there, and it spawns the multi-moon.
The reason for that is just because with the mod editor they were using, if they changed the Wiggler at all, it would crash the game. So I just got rid of it.
A silly alternative.
Funny.
Yeah.
Classic game design.
Okay, now we're on to Day Metro. And like I said earlier, we're starting with the impossible jump again.
If only they actually made the impossible jump impossible in this mod. Make us work for it to get into Metro.
And I want to grab this checkpoint and some coins.
You'll notice this is already a very different route from what normal Metro would be. A lot of these moons have been moved quite far from their locations. So starting down here with the garbage moon, we're going to climb back up and then go by a shot moon.
Yeah. Oh.
I thought you were about to grab that pole.
That was gonna bonk on it. Okay, nice and easy moon.
Yeah,
A lot of the moons in Metro aren't too bad in terms of difficulty. There's just a handful of hard ones.
you don't want to accidentally purchase the 10,000 coin life up part when you're in the shop there. Fun fact, it's not even possible.
Yeah, the one that's not even possible to get.
Normally for this moon, you would hop on top of the scooter and clip yourself into getting this moon. But unfortunately, the moon was moved into the ground, so it's not possible to clip into. So you have to actually do it the legitimate way with the RC car. But you have to go in from the backside instead of the front.
And now we're doing bullet building.
This has got a cool strat in it for the first moon. Normally for this trash moon, it would be on top of the block that you're going to see Jay standing on in about 5 seconds. But in this mod, it just was moved underneath the block. Luckily though, if you hit it with a down throw, the moon just clips through and you can grab it without having to go underneath. And then the rest of this room is pretty normal. Just a little bit of a trick jump without the bullet bills. And that's another easy moon.
Yeah. That trick jump might look a bit hard, but it actually lines up pretty nicely to get that triple jump. And then this next one's hidden away under this AC unit right here. There we go.
And then a bit of a scary jump to this next moon.
Oh, well, let's not do that. Yeah, this next moon is completely blind, telling you to not screw it up. Oh. Let's try that again.
Okay, luckily a bonk there does not screw anything up.
Okay, I should survive this, hopefully. There we go.
Nice and easy.
And then you might think we're talking to Pauline, but we're just going to completely ignore her. We're coming in for the moon behind here.
No musicians or story in this route. Just all the fast moons.
Okay, this next moon's another moon that's kind of blind, but it's significantly easier than the moon I just did a second ago, because I just have so much more control of Mario. Yeah.
You really weren't kidding when you were talking about just how many moons are underneath platforms.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot hidden below and above where you would never look.
You'll kind of realize they come up with an idea for one moon in this mod and then reuse it 10 times. There's like 8 only up sections. There's so many moons hidden under platforms that just come up with an idea and reuse it.
To be fair,
to death.
When there's 880 total moons to hide, you're going to end up repeating a couple things.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, anytime there's a moon that gets moved that has a very specific locked camera angle, you'll see the camera will still immediately warp back to the original position the moon was supposed to be in.
I was going to point that out too. That looked wild.
Now, if you're a savvy Mario Odyssey player, you might know that sub-areas typically have 2 moons and 3 for some if they're in post-game with like moon rocks. But this moon rock moon is here early for some reason, so I'm going to capitalize on it. And it's just under that block. It is stupid easy.
Yeah, so in the original game, you're not supposed to be able to access that until post-game, and it's also supposed to be a hat and seek moon. So you're looking for a Bonneton, the cap creature from Cap Kingdom. They're supposed to be hidden on someone's head, but unfortunately in this mod, that is not available.
Yeah, I don't know why that moon is here now. It really shouldn't be. They might probably mess up something with the code, but I'm going to capitalize on it. I doubt they intended for that moon to be here now.
That will cap off Metro.
Yeah, and that's going to be a gold split. That was really clean.
Wow, nice Metro. All right, and this is the halfway point of the run. So we are going to take a quick wellness break. We'll pause the timer. This is a great time for you all to get some water, stretch your legs.
We'll pause the timer here as soon as it fades out to black. I can give a countdown. It's 5 seconds from the banner. That'll be a good point. So let me just do that real quick.
Yeah, great stuff so far.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
All right, so we will be back in just a few minutes. You can step away to get some water, but don't close the tab because we will be right back very soon with more Mario Odyssey Kaizo. All right, thank you everyone for sticking around through the break. You are watching Parallel Universe, the show about community-created content such as mods, fan games, custom levels, and the like. I'm Helix. I am here with Cheese J. Let's get into it. Cheese J is playing Super Mario Odyssey Kaizo mode.
Okay, we're going to do a countdown and start the run back up now. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, heading into Snow Kingdom. What do you want to say about Snow Kingdom, Karate Man?
This is probably the most noticeable change you'll find as soon as you enter a kingdom. We won't spend too much time in the most changed part of this kingdom, but it is quite obvious and quite deadly how big this change is.
I'm going to argue that and say Seaside Kingdom.
Seaside's a pretty big change too, but not nearly as deadly.
Yeah, but I think it's more apparent as soon as you land.
That's true. That's true. This is less noticeable only because there's a snowstorm.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of a fancy trick jump here right out the gate.
Well, another trick jump? Crazy.
I didn't like how Mario rolled there, but it worked out. He got some wacky bounces off those rolls, but it works out. Also, that jump's kind of blind, so I just kind of have to know where I'm going.
So you can see there's waves of poison that you're hopping over, obviously, which makes this kingdom very difficult on the outside.
Oh, come on. This jump's annoying. This is known as Blowy Noe. It's typically how you get to the painting island or painting platform in vanilla runs, but here we gotta get, it's how you get into Sugar Area. Oh, this trick is so annoying.
So for this trick, you're trying to get a slope vault, which basically gives you an opportunity to use Cappy again afterwards, which that was not a slope vault, unfortunately, even though it was a bounce.
There we go, yeah. Yeah, the annoying part about that trick is it feels like I'm doing my inputs all the same every single time, and it just doesn't work sometimes for no reason. Now I want to make sure I don't break any of these boxes because I need all the height I can get here. There we go.
So those waves of poison outside will no longer affect us in the entire rest of this kingdom. If you're doing a run longer than any percent in Kaizo mode, it might be a little more difficult for Snow, but for any percent, it's not that bad.
Okay. Another nice and easy shot moon. We're going to take all the pretty easy moons that we can get, like shot moons. And this next moon's pretty easy too. It's just kind of up.
Don't forget the crate moon. You asked me to remind you, don't forget the crate moon.
Yeah, that will be coming up here. But yeah, this first moon here. Oh my, I forgot I could do that.
Wow, that is very far to be able to talk to that NPC.
Yeah, it's in that chest up there. They just moved the chest from the vanilla spot there.
A cheeky little hiding spot.
And the crate will be coming up after this sub area, so let's just make sure I don't forget it. Okay. It's probably like the easiest moon in the run for me to forget. Oh wait, this isn't here. What am I doing?
That's some vanilla movement there. That's like post-game vanilla movement.
Yeah, that's darker side. Or almonds. Oh, actually, no, it's darker side.
For some reason in
deal.
Snow Kingdom, the mod developers really liked hiding chests on walls.
I won't forget it because we were talking about it.
Perfect.
Let's get the main clip. No, we're close. There's like a 0.2 times that you can do there if you clip through the wall. But yeah, obviously not important.
Anything to take the slightest straight line towards your destination.
Let's okay, let's butcher the inputs, but it'll still work out. Can I make? I'm not gonna be able to make that work now.
Did you ever try that decapture movement we spoke about for the story moon here?
I think it might work.
I mean, I don't know if you
it.
want to try it live.
We're gonna try it live.
So for this sub area, you have to go in the intended route from Nintendo to open up that giant icicle there, since it's blocking where the actual moon is. We also have to come up here because we need the Goombas.
Yeah, that's gonna work. That's gonna work.
Yeah, that's a better route.
Yeah, I mean, the other day I saw the Goombas alive in the cutscene, so I was like, that probably works. I used to grab this moon second in the sub area and do the Goomba stacking moon first, but Karate Man pointed out that the Goombas should survive if I do the story moon first, so just let your route and it'll save a couple of seconds. I also could do what's known as ice corner clip to clip into the wall over there instead of stacking the Goombas, but I'm forced to play the game in English as that's the only text file that please don't jump off that edge. That's the only text file that exists for this mod. So the setup's a little bit more awkward, so I just opt to stack the Goombas for a couple of seconds of time loss.
Just to be clear, that corner clip is possible no matter what language you play on, but most players get used to a visual setup with whichever language pack they usually play on.
Which is, yeah, Chinese for pretty much every single runner. Now, I will say the world record does still do ICC in English. It's just a lot more awkward, so I don't bother. Okay, I want to go here. Yeah. That's not bonk. Oh, good call. Good thing I didn't roll there. Okay. Let's go this way.
As you can see, there are a lot of extra blowy joeys in this room, or as Nintendo likes to call them, the taifus.
Yeah, and you're not able to capture any of them except for like this guy.
Yeah, so
Really,
the 6 in a row, those you can throw Cappy on them, but Mario will immediately be forced to uncapture due to part of the mod development.
No, I'm gonna beg to differ, Philly. I like when he told me to drop the bus. Okay, do you want to explain this next trick I'm gonna do here, Karate Man?
Which trick is this?
Syndrome.
Oh, the last moon. Yes, sorry. Forgot that was the last moon. So for the final trick here, we're going to head up to the painting island behind the Odyssey, which is done in most, if not every regular speedrun of this game now. But it uses a medium difficulty trick jump off the top of the Odyssey here. So normally this moon wouldn't be available until post-game when you travel through the painting from a various kingdom. But the painting doesn't even exist here.
First try, easy peasy. I'm really liking that new setup I learned. Regular rainbow spin is booty for that trick. I'll say it. And that is another gold split. Look at that. I'm locking in.
All right, let's go, GJ.
That's two in a row?
I mentioned this on break, but I guess I can bring it up now. I am on personal best pace, so I'm gonna try to lock in and close this out.
You got this.
So moving into Seaside, like Jay said earlier, this is probably a little bit more noticeable of what the big change for the kingdom is as soon as you fly in versus Snow where you can't really see it.
Don't say it. Let's see if they can figure it out.
Okay, all right. Take a look. Keep your eyes peeled, chat. Tell us in chat if you can see what the massive change is.
Felix, you want to try to tell me what the change is for this kingdom?
Okay.
Should be able to see the change right about now, even though we're skipping cutscenes.
The hit mobile game, Where's My Water?
Yes! It actually makes the kingdom so much more fun. And I hope I do a good job of showcasing that. There is so much fun platforming without the water.
And that rumble room we just saw, that was the swap from Sand Kingdom, the first rumble room we went in. Basically, the moon locations were just swapped from Seaside to Sand.
Yeah. There's, like I said, there's so much fun platforming here. They turns a boring swimming water level into a platforming gauntlet, which is so fun. And
A
it's such basic
dehydrated
change.
seaside, as Revered says in chat.
Yeah, it is such a basic change that ends up making the mods so much more fun. I'm gonna say more mods need to do stuff like this.
Listen, most gamers already hate water levels to begin with, so getting rid of the
Yes.
water, not a bad option.
That's not the angle I wanted. Test here. And then this next moon's fun. I'm going to do a triple dipper on the corner here for a moon up in the air.
You don't realize it until you're missing the water, but there are a lot of good locations along the seafloor or between coral or behind rocks where the mod developers found to hide various moons.
Okay. Ooh, I slightly overshot that moon, but it worked out. And then we're going to do some jank geometry here. A little bit of a jank slope there to get up.
Oh,
Okay.
And we're going to do another fun jump.
Oh, let's not bonk.
Okay, good
We're
save.
gonna try that. Yeah. If I bonk there, it is a significantly good time loss, so let's not do that. Oh my, I'm bonking this time. Frick. Okay, unfortunate. Okay, this is 3, I want to say.
So what we were trying to do there, Jay was trying to get a vault off Cappy, but because there was not a vault and just a bounce, they would not have been able. They would not have been able to do another cap bounce midair. So we were trying to go for Captain Toad, but as a backup, we're going to have to do the Sphinx Vault instead.
I can come over here as well. There's a moon right here. If I can find it. It is so often I have to do this. It's up top. Okay. It's so often I have to do this back. It's very annoying. I don't know what's up with me in that vault. Can't figure it out. Okay, let's not mess up this moon too much. Yeah, this moon is very annoying. Just gotta get in there. Okay, please get in there. Please don't die. Please don't die. Please don't die. Thank you.
Ooh, very lucky.
wow.
Yeah, there's like no good way about going about this moon.
Yeah, you were pretty close to being out of iframes there.
Okay, I want to go this way, and then I just want to roll up this wall. If that makes sense.
It is very nice that the geometry just works out that you can roll up this wall up until that point there. But normally you don't get the chance to platform in any of this since there's water everywhere. Oh, and here's another moon that's basically borderline impossible to do damageless.
What the heck?
Yeah, they just throw spikes everywhere and tell you good luck. Right through one.
Only one moon left to get before we move on to Luncheon Kingdom here. We're going to damage boost yet again, going straight through. There's usually only one eel. Now we got 3 eels.
Oh, wow.
Not bad. Oh, let me warp. Let me warp. Thank you. Okay, we're out. Only like a minute damage. That's fine. On to Luncheon, this is where the mod gets really hard. L, R, B, M are all very, very difficult.
All right, before we get to luncheon, I want to remind chat that your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel all help support Games Done Quick Hotfix. So if you enjoy watching speedruns or speedrun adjacent content, please consider subscribing to the channel to get access to our emotes, have ad-free viewing, and chat with other subscribers during our replays.
So once again, we're going to see here in Luncheon a lot of moons being hidden under places you normally wouldn't find them, or just straight up off the map, hanging right above a death plane. There's some pretty cheeky spots they've been hidden here.
Yeah, that's going to be the very first moon. Okay, so we got to jump around this corner here first. If I get unlucky, the camera can screw me and make the jump a lot harder, so let's hope that doesn't happen.
Ooh, camera did change. That happens if you go too high because there's the exit from a different sub area.
Oh, is that because of the pipe?
Yes. So there's a sub area later on in the kingdom that the exit for it was randomly moved back where Jay was jumping there behind the Odyssey. And if you happen to jump up into the loading zone of where the pipe would be, your camera gets warped to where it's supposed to be, to the original spot.
That does not happen in vanilla. Interesting. I didn't know that.
No, yeah, and it doesn't happen here if you're just low enough, that's all.
Yeah, okay, I see. Good to know. Okay, that death isn't too costly at all. Okay, now we're gonna do some Goomba sorcery with this Goomba here. If you like magic tricks, there's one coming up right here.
The magic trick is we're finding the Goomba a girlfriend.
That's actually not the magic trick, but...
Shh, the Goomba doesn't know that.
Okay. No, that's bad.
Unfortunate. Stomped on the Goomba after getting it up into the place.
Let's do this. Do this.
So the trick that was being done there while Jay's going back to get another Goomba, the trick that was being done was turning the camera away from Goombette so she doesn't despawn if Mario gets too close, faking to jump with the Goomba so he gets a little extra height, and decapturing at the peak of that jump so the Goomba falls backwards onto the block where Goombette is. And then afterwards, you have to recapture the Goomba while still facing away so Goombette doesn't run away from you.
Can someone tell me what I'm doing wrong here?
I'm horrible at this moon, so no, I'm of no help here.
Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing wrong here. I could not tell you.
Maybe just go for the corn jump a couple times.
I can't do it. I could try it. Let me see. Oh, no. Well, let me try one more time. Yeah, no, this isn't gonna work. This setup is very frustrating.
I don't think you have to go from the backside like that.
That's the only way I've ever been able to get it. There you go. There you go. Work. What?
Oh.
This jump, man.
Wait, does she have to reappear first?
Oh, she does. Yeah. There we go.
Goombette, not a fan of magic tricks, notably.
That's not gonna work either. I pinned the camera out. See, this is why Kaizo mods are kind of frustrating, because then this can happen where I just don't know what I'm doing wrong for no reason.
That's it.
There we go. Okay. That took longer than I wanted, but that's okay.
The Goombas have a very finicky love story, but they got there in the end.
Okay, now we're gonna do Spirit, which is gonna look really scary, but it's actually a cakewalk in pretty much a vanilla boss fight.
You just really can't make Spirit that hard.
Yeah, that's what everyone keeps saying. Okay, now it's vanilla. Just gotta kill that one plant there, and then it plays out as vanilla.
Spirit already put poison all over the field. Well, not even, because in the speedrun, you get rid of the poison before Spirit can even throw it. So it really doesn't make that much of a difference when there's only slight splotches from these piranha plants you have to avoid.
And just like that, Spirit's dead, and we can grab his moon. I think theoretically I could take damage there at the end, maybe from that plant to my right, but I don't know, I've never had to have that happen. Okay, now this next moon is pretty easy, it's just on the side of the cliff here. Right here.
There were already a lot of ground pound moons in vanilla Mario Odyssey, so finding some hidden places to put them at is pretty fun for the mod.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, now we're gonna go shopping again for the last time in the run.
And luckily, you did have all the coins that were necessary. Would you say 404?
Yep.
Well, now I can't find your coins because there's an error.
You get it.
I'm glad someone did.
Okay, and now we're gonna do another frustrating moon. Luncheon is just a lot of like frustrating, difficult moons. Let's give me Cappy back and let's try this again. There we go. Okay, this guy's in the worst possible spot. We're just gonna capture a bunch until he's dead because he's a problematic bunny.
So for this moon, you're not really going to be able to see much of what's going on, but in that little alcove underneath where Jay is standing, there is a chest or a crate that needs to be broken for a moon to spawn. So we're using a cool strat here with a down throw, and we're hoping that Cappy gets stuck underneath the wall and does not warp back up to Mario. And if you're in the right spot, Cappy will destroy that crate and spawn the moon without you having to capture a Podoboo and go down there yourself.
We might be here a minute because I tried doing this on stream the other day and I couldn't get it. I spent like 5 minutes here. Yeah, I just don't know what I'm doing wrong with this moon. It's impossible for me to tell. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. It's another one of those moons where you do the same inputs every time and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
You're not homing in, right? You're just letting Cappy return?
No, you have to home in.
You are homing in, okay.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. What did I do with the roll boost before? There we go. Okay. I guess I have to go back to the roll boost method. Okay. Once again, this next moon is very difficult. Just a lot of moons back to back to back that are really hard. Where's the turnip? I want to put it like there, and then I want to do that.
This does use another pretty cool trick, only possible on 1.0. Oh, you can survive this. Maybe not like that. You gotta bounce up over on top of Cappy, not up into Cappy.
Yeah, that's not great. Okay, we'd go again.
So we're going to be using this turnip here to clip inside a moon cage instead of going all the way to the furthest part of the kingdom.
There we go.
And collecting the switch and opening up with the switch. Instead, we're going to use turnip clip. So all you have to do is take this turnip, throw it against the left side of the cage, which I've been told is easier than the right. Capture a pan bro. Jump behind the turnip with him and decapture and recapture.
I don't think that works. That should work.
Yeah, that's it. Very easy. Nicely done.
Another magic
Thank you. Yeah.
Another magic trick.
That actually used to be in any percent back in the day, actually at 1.0. Is that the first ever Odyssey showcase at a GDQ? Oh, give me that checkpoint. And then I want to capture this guy again over here. Now, there is a clip I could use to get into this next room and out of bounds it, but it is very finicky and difficult, so I just opt to capture the Pambro instead and do it the intended way. Yep. Come over here and break this cheese. Oh, that's not gonna work. There we go.
So this sub area is not done in vanilla any percent, but actually in the best theoretical time video, it is done.
Oh,
Very
whoops.
difficult room to get into and to finish cleanly with the RNG of where the pans get thrown.
Okay. Last shard's up there. There we go.
I like how the moon's so big that you don't even have to open up all the cheese surrounding it.
Yeah. Okay, now we're gonna do a little bit of a fancy trick jump here. Oh, good bonk. I'm gonna try to get to Forks Room here. There we go, that works.
Nice, easy trick jump.
And then this room is really hard, so let's hope it goes well. Well, that is one jump, that's hard. The rest of the room is pretty textbook.
I feel like we need a new name for this room for Kaizo mode because the beginning of the room, there's literally no forks.
That works.
As you can see, this room is made extra difficult because there's no forks in the beginning and you have to platform on top of these little cap throw objects. I have no idea what they're called.
I just call them cap flingers.
Cap flingers, that works. Once you get up to the forks, though, the rest of the room is fairly easy. One moon is available underneath the door to exit, and the second moon is actually required another trick jump to get on top of this last pink pillar here.
There we
which
go.
Jay is going to complete with expert precision.
Yeah. Okay, and then I'm gonna try to land on the fence over here. Oh, that works. So I can warp a little bit sooner. No! I didn't get my RCB.
RCB stands for roll, cancel, bounce. That's where you go straight from a roll cancel into holding the exact same angle you throw Cappy at, and you bounce on him.
Yeah, I didn't get that. I wanted to bounce off Cappy when he was in the lava there to get a bunch of speed and not take damage.
So we've got 4 moons left in the kingdom. One of them's going to be another ground pound moon right on top of the salt pile here, and then we will end the kingdom with the meat multi-moon.
And then do you want to explain why Ruined is a complete nightmare of a split?
I feel like I'd rather chat experience it for themselves. Same with coming into Seaside where they saw no
Okay.
water.
That is okay with me.
It gets pretty intense from here. If you thought this first hour of the run was hard, this next kingdom puts all of the rest of it to shame. It is one of the hardest parts of the mod, especially in the any percent speedrun. And casually, it can take people upwards of a full day to complete.
Yeah, Sudai is a great example of that. Me when Monday. Me when it Monday. By the way.
Yeah, this next kingdom is no joke. I don't think I've never even done this kingdom legit. I've finished all of Kaizo mod. I had to use assist mode when going through Ruined Kingdom.
Okay, so we will be there in about, like, what, 30 seconds?
Give or take. This is another one that you should notice the change as soon as you enter the kingdom.
Yes, it's very scary. Let's hope I can just nail this kingdom first try.
Call it out when you see it, chat.
Okay. Oh, come on, skip the cutscene, Jay.
You might catch it in the cutscene here in just a sec.
Yeah, there it is for like 1 second.
But if you didn't catch in the cutscene, you're gonna see it right here. Because the wire up into the ruined fight is not there. It is not possible to use. I mean, it is there, but it's glitched and will not take you into the fight.
That jump right there came up with something to make this jump a little bit easier, and this is an only up gauntlet, like I mentioned earlier, except this one is significantly harder. And if I fall at any point, I'm losing multiple minutes, so let's not do that.
Yeah, so this only up climb has 0 checkpoints. You go through a whole, feels like 3 different gauntlets worth of challenges here of climbing up. Starting off with these little seesaws, going to the question mark blocks. And then we make it to these girders. I find these girders to kind of be the first little, safety point. It's not a checkpoint, because you can still go all the way back to the beginning, but it's a bit safer than everything else, everything before it.
Yeah, any death is back to the start. There is a part later in this climb that acts as a pseudo checkpoint, though, if you make it there.
So not only is this climb extraordinarily hard on your first pass through in any percent, but if you choose to play further in this game and you come back to Ruined in post-game, there's actually missing blocks. So that you saw Jay jumping on a lot of those yellow question mark blocks. A lot of those are missing once you get to post-game, making this climb even harder than it currently is. But Jay is nailing it right now.
Yeah, I really have to lock in. I can't really talk here. For hopefully obvious reasons. Okay.
Obviously, a lot of this climb can be made hard by depth perception. It's very hard to see where some of these blocks are compared to the gray cloud background.
That would be my
Oh, that was
problem with it
ballsy.
for sure.
That was ballsy.
Now we are coming
wait.
back up.
I forgot where I was.
Okay, good save, good save, good save.
Yeah, I forgot where I was on the climb.
Now we're on the upside down pendulums.
I didn't want that jump. I didn't want that. Land on it. Land
Okay,
on
good
it.
save,
Yeah, we're
good save again.
Yeah, good save. Oh.
There are 2 of these swinging yellow pendulums that we need to get on before we can progress.
Ledge grab, please. Okay. Oh. Okay. Nerves are not making this easy. This is what's going on here.
You got a moment to breathe here with the cycle.
Yeah, okay. Oh. Oh, I hate that mistake. I hate that mistake. Okay, run, jump, do that. This is not giving me a break today. Really making me work for it. Oh, man. Give me it, game.
I will say your backups are on point right now.
Yeah, that's what many hours of this climb does. You just know how to back everything up. There we go.
Okay, we are past the yellow pendulums. We are almost out of here and into the boss fight. Just a couple of jumps on these crates here, which, by the way, can break if Cappy hits them.
It's not about to dive. There we go.
And we are home free. The only up climb has been complete.
Oh my gosh, that was ridiculous.
But it's not over yet. Now we've got the boss fight. And not only is there one dragon, there are now 3.
Also, I should mention if I die in this boss fight, I'm back to the start of the climb.
Yeah, any death at any point in this kingdom is extremely costly.
Yeah, absolutely stupidly brutal kingdom. Luckily, I will say this boss fight is by far the easiest part of the kingdom. And this is mostly for show.
A little stressful once you first get into the fight and realize, oh, I have to fight 3 of these things. But once you actually get the fight underway, you'll realize it's not that bad because you can actually stand on the other dragons while one of them is still throwing lasers. So their cycles kind of get a little offset. It makes it pretty easy to avoid some of the attacks.
And I'll show you guys a bit of a cheese here in a second whenever I kill the first dragon.
Yeah, once you get through 1 or 2 cycles, the offsets get very, very friendly.
This part's a little bit scary. Okay, there we go. Worked out. That's like the scariest part of the fight for me. Oh, I'm gonna be on 1 HP. Oh, please don't die. Please don't die. Please don't die. Okay, I'm gonna be on a tight cycle here.
Just get that ground pound.
Oh, I dropped the input too. Oh.
Very lucky.
Yeah. Oh, God. Okay, I should be in the clear now, hopefully. There might be a cycle going on that might scare me. Let's hope not.
It's not quite over yet, but we're going to spawn midair, which is very helpful.
Yeah, we're going to do that. Okay, and this is the cheese. I can stand on the dead dragon's corpse here to make the fight a lot easier. I'm completely safe here. And because I'm on 1 HP, I'm going to play a little bit slower and safer. Because
Yeah,
I am not
worth chancing a death.
Yeah.
So you could be fighting all dragons at the same time and switching back and forth between Dragon 1 and Dragon 2 cycles. But playing it safe on 1 HP is probably the way to go.
Oh, good bonk. That's absolutely what I needed right now. Over here.
Back to safety. Yeah, having moments to breathe after everything that's gone on in this kingdom is probably worth it.
No kidding.
Yeah. I'm very nervous being on 1 HP, but I'm just hoping it works out. I don't see a road where it doesn't, but you never know.
Just don't let a Burbo touch you.
Yeah. The zoomed in camera doesn't help anything, I'll say that much.
Is it a zoomed in camera or did they just make the first dragon bigger?
No, it's a zoomed in camera. The camera changes. As soon as you kill a boss, the camera goes back to like default.
Ah, okay. That makes sense.
Rather than like boss camera. That's just for like any boss fight.
One last dragon.
You only really notice that though if you like duplicate bosses when I'm on.
Just waiting on those attacks to finish.
Yep. There we go. Okay, one more phase after this one. We saved it. We made this, or this dragon was completely untouched up until this point, so we gotta go through all 3 phases here. Should hopefully be in the clear.
Maybe while we're waiting on this last phase is a good chance to shout out the GDQ schedule.
Yeah, I mean, the SGDQ schedule, you can, the games list at least is out right now, gdq.gg/games. If you're looking for the hotfix schedule, you can go to games.quick.com/hotfix. Make sure you click through to the detailed schedule as well. And you will see that coming up this weekend.
Please don't do it.
Oh, okay. What a stressful kingdom. You will see that coming up this weekend is our AAPI celebration. That is starting tomorrow and it continues through May 4th. Yeah, join us to celebrate AAPI Heritage Month with a weekend full of Asian and Pacific Islander speedrunners. And if you want more information on that in particular, you can use !AAPI in chat.
Well done. Well done on the first try, Ruined.
Yeah, it could have been a lot
was
faster.
Terrifying.
Could have been a lot faster, but I got it first try, so I will not complain.
I think my heart sunk no less than 5 times during the pendulum part of that climb.
Yeah. Luckily, I know how to back up pretty much any single jump on that climb, so. And once you get to like that one wall jump section, there's a lot of room for backup on pretty much every jump there, so.
The wall jump section, you're referring to the white platform with the pole sticking out of it.
The Cap Kingdom platform, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, on to Bowser's. As difficult as this kingdom is, it's kind of the breather in this run.
We do still have to make it through the Ogre, Shards, and Bunny story moons here, but for the most part, some things have just been moved around a little bit. The Ogre story moon does have a little bit of a cheeky twist to it that you'll see in just a minute here.
Yeah, this is absolutely a breather between Ruined and Moon, which is usually the opposite. Ruined is usually the breather, but not in this mod.
Gonna climb up this wall. Yeah, gonna climb up without the uproot, just using some expert platforming.
They added an uproot for people that don't know how to do that jump, but somehow got here in this mod.
Now, instead of going to the Ogre around front, we're gonna climb all the way around back here. Oh. And we'll notice there's this Ogre here that is kind of frozen in time. He doesn't really stamp his block down on you when he notices you. And the only way to kill this Ogre is by poking it in the forehead.
That was clean.
Very clean. The only way to kill it is by poking it in the forehead with a Pokio. Yeah. As opposed to this normal one here that you can just get rid of the vanilla way.
A lot of people don't know that you can poke ogres with Pokios in the regular SMO game, so they kind of showed that off with this mod.
When I first played through Kaizo, I never knew that was a thing. I discovered that for the first time when I was in the Pokio capture.
Yeah. And then Shards is, I wouldn't say it's really much more difficult than vanilla. The Shards are just kind of moved around.
As with most moons that are spammed a lot in this game, like ground pound moons, don't forget the chest. Get the crate.
Oh, thank you, crate. Yes, thank you.
I remembered. Almost too late though.
Yeah, I miss this moon just about every single run of Kaizo I do, because I just default into vanilla movement. I'm like all hyper focused on Shards.
Yeah, so as with a lot of objects and ground pound moons in this game, they're just kind of moved slightly from where they normally would be. So it's a scavenger hunt for the Shards.
And then there's one in this box here. Come on.
Of course, it goes for the heart.
Oh, good thing I didn't swim down there. I would have been dead. And then the next one's on this roof right here, straight ahead. And then the next one I'm going to kill Mario for.
Bye, Mario.
You know what? Yeah, if this Pokio dies, he doesn't respawn, so I'm just going to play that safe.
I just find it funny how Cappy homes in on the thing you never want him to home in on. Like the purple coins there.
Yeah. And then the sauce ones are on back.
So normally collecting this story moon after the Shards opens the doors here. That's good. The last shard, you have to climb over top of the roof.
down throw. There we go. And then I get to grab the Storm and the door will open.
Now we're coming up on the bunny fights. This is another one that's very easy to notice what's been changed.
Yeah, they're very much more difficult. Okay. And I can't forget the moon behind this wire. I gotta do a gram shaft for this one.
Nice and
that
easy.
Works. Yeah, there we go. Oh, good cameraman.
Nicely done.
Thank you. Okay, these bunny fights are pretty difficult. So let's just hope they go well. Oh, come on. And these lava hitboxes are mad broken. They're not close to squares, so I have to be really careful when I'm jumping around here.
Yeah, so the bunny fights this time around are floor is lava. The developers were nice enough to at least put in some platforms for Mario to stand on.
That's fine.
But like Jay was saying, the floor portions that are lava are not circular, so outside the arena, the lava still extends, even if it's invisible.
Okay. I'm just gonna wait for him to come to me here. Absolutely how I should play this.
Yeah, just play it safe.
Yeah, I'm known to down this fight a lot, so I'm just gonna play it slow.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I don't like that. Get away from me. That's not what I wanted, but it saved me time.
That was expert, though.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I just got unlucky. I hit the hat he was under twice. The hat he was under was hugging the wall, so me hitting it once essentially just hit it twice and spawned him before I was ready.
No, you bounced on him. You landed on him.
Oh, did I? I thought I hit him twice there.
No, he was right behind you when you were landing from your jump.
Okay, this fight pretty much plays out as vanilla.
No Sarbamba, unfortunately. Sarbamba is a strat where you can skip one of the phases with Harriet by glitching one of her bombs to get stuck midair, but it takes very precise positioning and angling, which you cannot do when the floor is lava.
There we go. I didn't like the way she was hopping there. And good. The bomb gets a little bit close for comfort, but it works out. There we go. That was really good.
Easy bunnies.
Those are really, really good bunnies. I think that golds. Okay, going into the mech split now, which is pretty much vanilla. I'm probably taking damage here. Oh, I'm not. Look at that.
Avoided the lava.
Yeah, like I said, that lava hitbox is a really big square, even though it looks like a circle. A lot of it's invisible, and it's very easy to hit invisible hitboxes there and take damage for no reason. So it's absolutely critical that you're pretty much always on full health or 2 HP at the lowest.
Well, if you liked the floors lava boss fights, you're in for a treat because we got one more. The mech fight at the top of the kingdom is also going to be a floors lava fight.
But I'm a speedrunner, so that changes actually 0.
This is true for the speedrun route. If you do it the exact same as any percent, the floors lava means nothing.
Yes. Quite literally, I can do the exact inputs as a regular speedrun and nothing changes. Hey, look, it's moving faster.
Some things in the environment were changed.
One thing. Okay, here we go.
The lava's gonna spawn in like right now. There it is.
Oh, okay, that's an angle. Okay, let's not fail this.
Come on, birdless mech. That's a good start. Good climb.
Yeah. So in vanilla, you're typically supposed to use a bird. You want to explain that, Karate Man?
Yes. So the mech usually spawns in Pokios after throwing a couple of bombs, and after he throws the bombs, he stands still for a while and opens up those little pegs on the side of his legs that you saw Jay climbing on. Those pegs reveal wood, which Pokio would normally be able to stick its nose into and climb up. But before those pegs go away, those little half circles, you can actually stand on them and use them to climb up, as Jay's done here. And it's very easy once you're up there to stay on top of the mech for the entire rest of the fight. Oh, nice landing.
Hold on. I'm thrown though. Okay, let's do this. Don't panic. Oh, I don't like this. I'm dead. Rip. Unfortunate.
Were you going for TA?
Yeah, I was, and I just didn't get my cap down for no reason.
So that last trick there is called target acquired that Jay was going for. It's where after the mech launches you backwards, you land directly on Spirit's bubble instead of landing back on top of the mech and then jumping down to ground pound. A little bit difficult, as you can see there, especially when you're getting a dropped input.
There we go.
Really, this phase 3, is the most important for landing back on top of the mech, because if you fall down here, it's going to be really annoying with the mech running back and forth across the arena, losing tons of time on top of having to climb back up. Harriet's just not working today.
I never get Harriet for us.
There's TA. Nicely done.
I'll take second try. Okay, going into Moon here, last kingdom. And it is another kingdom that is extremely difficult, but hopefully it goes well.
The majority of the overworld, just the base kingdom for Moon, is not that bad. There's one thing that gets moved out of the way for a certain trick jump, but the meat of Moon Kingdom is when you get into the Bowser fight, which is very, very, very hard.
Yes, the Bowser fight is very tricky, but hopefully if I get through the Bowser fight, the rest should be pretty easy. It's like only the Bowser fight that's harder. Okay. Okay, last little bit of cutscenes here in the run.
Real quick, I will mention that if you have missed out on any of this Mario Odyssey Kaizo mode run or any of Do All the Things, the show right before this, you can catch the VODs on youtube.com/gamesdonequick once they're uploaded. And of course, if you've missed out on any of our other Hotfix shows or any other GDQ content, such as AGDQ, SGDQ, Fatales, things like the AAPI celebration coming up, those will all be on youtube.com/gamesdonequick as well.
Yeah. Okay. Heading into Moon here. So you're gonna think that like moon gravity would be gone, like a lot of other mods do, but we still get moon gravity. But there is another change that we'll see here pretty quickly in the overworld before we enter into the chapel.
And in terms of the speedrun, there's only, let's say, one minor change for the beginning of Moon Kingdom.
Yeah.
Everything after this, everything like from the chapel forward, is heavily changed.
Yeah. The bomb vectors, you'll be very proud. Oh, I'm surprised that worked.
Very clean start.
Yeah, I thought it was bonking there. Okay, and the change is right around this corner. There is no Sphinx here. So I gotta do the Mooncave skip without him.
Which is really not that bad.
Oh, I didn't mess it up there. I just didn't have the height I wanted.
Gamers have found some pretty interesting ways to get through Mooncave Skip. It's been done with the Sphinx, without the Sphinx. It's been done without Cappy too. There are a lot of ways to skip over the Mooncave.
Okay. Going into Bowser, do you want to explain Bowser, Karate Man?
The Bowser Kingdom fight, it feels like a trip back to Snow Kingdom. There's waves of poison that are going to be cascading through the entire fight nonstop. And not only do these waves of poison have the ability to one-hit KO Mario, they can also move Bowser physically away from where he's standing. This fight, for the speedrun is hopefully going to avoid Bowser being purposefully moved or accidentally moved by the slime with some very precise timing on these hits. But when you're first encountering this fight casually, it can be very, very annoying with Mario getting pushed backwards into the slime, or poison. I keep calling it slime, it's poison. Or Bowser being carried off by the poison. But we're going to manipulate Bowser back into that very same starting section because it is the easiest place to keep the poison from moving him.
Okay, good.
And a little fast hats on top of everything. Skipping over having to wait for Bowser to throw the hats throughout the arena. It's already kind of hard to do that normally, but doing it with poison is even harder.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, that's bad. Oh, it worked out.
You can see there's a question mark block on the ground there in the middle of where Bowser stands. That offsets his height very slightly, so whether it was intended by the mod developers for him to move or to not move, it does help a little bit. And one last phase.
That's fine. Oh, let's dive this way.
Nice. Good save. Final hits on Bowser here. Last hit.
Nice.
That is a first try Bowser fight. Let's go.
Okay, we're not done yet. Not done yet. One more section.
The waves of poison are gone now, but we do have exit sequence now.
And this is the first mod, or one of the first mods, I believe, to incorporate Bowser parkour into the game. So you'll hopefully see that here in a second.
Yes, a lot of this exit sequence has been changed pretty drastically from the original game. There's now singular moon blocks for Bowser to jump on, and just about every other platform is falling and crumbling away. So you'll see here in a second, this big block that Jay's able to stand on safely usually stays even after you knock down this pillar. But in this mod, it does not. Every last block is going to fall away. We won't be sticking around long enough, though.
Now we gotta go into the 2D section, and we're forced into a trick called 2D skip here. Just some fancy Bowser movement, essentially.
Already a jump that's normally done in vanilla speedruns.
Yeah.
And you got to do it once more.
And we gotta land on a couple pixel gap there.
Now we do have more trick jumps with Bowser. Luckily, if you're throwing a fireball or if you're just swiping with his hand, it provides a little bit of an air stall so Bowser can stay in the air just ever so slightly longer while continuing to move forward.
Okay, good pillars.
And it's time for the final pillars room. We're going to be coming in under time on the estimate here.
Yeah, well, as long as I get this. I can't speak too soon. Okay, this pillar first, just because it's a free target from here. And it's significantly harder to hit later, so we just do it now. Oh, I was almost short there. I almost shorted that.
While some of these jumps around the area can be a little bit tricky, aiming with the fireballs once you get a good spot is very, very easy. One final pillar.
I was a little bit ballsy. I'm gonna take the hit. Second hit.
One more.
Oh, I off-screened it, I think. There we go.
And I gotta race to the center as every last block is falling.
There we go, and that's gonna be a gold split to end the run, I think. And that is a personal best time. Look at that.
That's a new PB?
Yeah, 132. I will take that. GG. That's time. Oh, sorry, I forgot the countdown. That's time.
Oh, excellently done.
GG's.
Thank you for the GGs. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on. If you want to see more Mario Odyssey from me, I stream over on twitch.tv/TJ with 2 Y's. And I'm going to start making some YouTube content as well over on youtube.com/@TJ with 1 Y. Karate Man, is there anything you want to shout out?
Sure, if you give me a chance to shout out. I also stream on Twitch and YouTube at Karate Man on both platforms. Love me some Mario Odyssey speedrunning, but thank you so much for inviting me to commentate.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, thank you both so much for being on. This was a
132.16.
blast.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Anything else from either of you?
No, I think that's it. Just check out the Mario Odyssey speedrun community if you have any interest in speedrunning this game. Very welcoming community with so many resources. It's unreal.
And make sure you tune into the run, the co-op run happening at SGDQ as well.
Yeah, the 2-player run at GDQ is going to be huge. Not going to want to miss it.
All right. Well, thanks so much again for being on. Like I said, this was a blast. Stay tuned, everyone. We're going to go to a quick break, but when we return, it'll be more Mario. Well, actually... Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Parallel Universe. Thank you for sticking around through the break as we swapped out Mario for his brother Luigi. If you didn't know, this is the show about community-created content, so things like fan games, custom levels, mods, and speaking of mods, I am here with Elite Spud, who will be running Luigi's Mansion first person. So this, I think, will be really fun to see. Yeah, Elite Spud, how you doing?
I'm a little past my bedtime. It's late for me, but, you know, can't think of a better game to play when the lights are all down and the sun's gone than this one.
Well, thank you for staying up for this, and a shout out to all of you in chat for staying up for this as well.
Yep, we got Astrid, the horror girl, on comms for this.
Yes. Astrid, thank you for staying up for this too.
Of course.
With that,
Yeah.
yeah. We can get started whenever you two are ready.
Yep, so this is a very simple mod for Luigi's Mansion. There's some mods for this game that kind of recreate, you know, a different mansion, but this one basically glues the camera to Luigi's face and does some quality of life stuff to make it not make you completely sick, but there's a lot of motion in this, so if you're like prone to VR sickness heavily, hopefully it's not too bad. It doesn't make me sick, and I am, but just forewarning. Other than that, we're going to be taking the standard, like, any percent no out of bounds route through the game, just in first person. You're going to see some angles of ghosts and everything that you probably haven't seen before. I'm ready when everybody else is. 3, 2, 1.
I'm ready.
Go. So I'm going to be going to the Hidden Mansion here. The Hidden Mansion is the like the New Game Plus, and it's extra devious in the first person mod. First off, we're going to sidestep because it's unplayable without sidestep mode. And we are immediately in the mansion, right at the floor level. This game's kind of like a dollhouse normally, but when you see it from like ground level, it kind of changes how scary everything is because you're in Luigi's shoes and everything's a lot bigger than you think it is.
Yeah,
and it
you
gets
start
right
to
up next to the
notice
camera.
how Luigi really is that short. And this is actually fascinating. Like, I knew I was gonna have kind of like my mind blown looking at this, but this is fascinating.
So we're gonna I'm kind of claw gripping the controller because I need to use the C stick at all times to look around because we're in sidestep mode. And I'm going to like basically be pressing the B button to turn the flashlight off, and then flashing the ghosts and pulling them in with the vacuum. If you notice, I bonked that ghost in like the lightest way possible. There's this guy. The hitboxes are a little weird in this mod as well. And normally that only does 5 damage. That did 10. Because we're in the Hidden Mansion, this is based off the English version of the game. So you will be able to read the text, but unfortunately I will be taking double damage the entire way through. And one of the things that this mod does to make the game harder is that you don't get random heart drops, like, ever. Period. They don't exist. So the only way to reliably heal is by getting more than one ghost at once, like this. So now I get 2 hearts because I caught 2 ghosts. If I can do it again. And because there's no other real heart drops in the game, and because I'm taking double damage, there is kind of like a permanent health loss until you get to a good room to heal. Oh dear. So yeah, that did 30 damage. This is kind of very similar to the Kaizo Mario Odyssey that y'all just watched, in the sense of that it's kind of brutally difficult. There we go.
I did not know that when I had it on, so sure.
It fits.
we can pretend I planned it like that.
Let's see if I can get the push this guy. Nice. The garbage can ghosts do not have a hitbox. They don't hurt Luigi when you bonk them, so you can just like shove them across the room. Grab this key. And if you've seen the game from a different angle, it's like you kind of probably know where we're going, but it really is like a maze when you're in first person.
It's also kind of reinforced those shadows in like the corners. Like it feels very traditional in that classic first-person horror game vibe of having to, you know, look into the corners with your flashlight to see what's there. It's definitely, I don't know, in your opinion, does it kind of escalate the unnerving feeling of this game?
Yeah, the small FOV really works against you in ways that you don't expect. Like not being able to see as much is, the claustrophobia is way ramped up because, like I said, it's like a dollhouse when you normally play this game. You can see basically the whole room at all times. But like when stuff spawns behind you, you can't see it.
Yeah, this changes the vibes of the game quite a bit, and I am here for it, honestly. It's really cool.
Okay. So the strategy for catching ghosts in this game is essentially pulling the analog stick opposite the way the ghost is moving for 10 HP, and then you return to neutral, and then you pull the analog stick away for 10 HP, and repeat. Because I'm in first person, opposite the way the ghost is moving is literally always behind me. So I'm always going to be tapping the analog stick. Please rock the horse, Luigi. There we go. I'm literally always going to be tapping the analog stick straight down on the controller, and that's why the Hidden Mansion is extra hard, because that kind of trivializes every ghost. But there's still some shenanigans in the end of the area bosses. So there's 4 areas in this game. This is the first one. This is the end of the first one. This is the area boss for Area 1. This is Chauncey. He's got a lot of rocking horses. Some of the stuff is off screen normally. Like the camera is kind of zoomed in on Luigi's face when all this is happening. So the stuff just kind of floating in the sky is not normally seen. There's some classic Nintendo shenanigans of just spawn everything off screen and make it shrink down into a pin-sized thing, and all kinds of other stuff that you get to see like behind the curtain.
Person mentioned in the chat this is like Luigi Fatal Frame, and as a fan of Fatal Frame, I kind of agree. The only thing missing is like the combo bonuses for like the Fatal Frame shots, but it's got the points, it's got the numbers, it's all there.
No, I was trying to go for a 1 cycle. I'm pretty sure it's possible here. It requires a very precise input, but we're going to see cycle 2 of Chauncey here. It's just cool. Like, I'm not going to be looking around all the rooms very much. Probably because I'm trying to go fast. But just putting this mod on and walking around the mansion is just a joy. Because there's so much stuff on the 4th wall that you don't see where the camera's like positioned unless you go into the game's like built-in first-person mode where you scan objects. But it's so much more organic when you do it this way. And we're done with Area 1 as soon as Luigi decides to open the chest.
Great job on Area 1. That was, first of all, really fast. But secondly, yeah, I think I can speak for everyone in the chat when I say I don't think I've ever seen Area 1 like that before.
We are going to, break the illusion here for a second. I guess this cutscene looks really bad in first person. There's a couple things that they kept the same. But everything in this game is in engine. Like, there's no pre-rendered cutscenes in this game. So I fully expect that you could have had this cutscene in, like, the first-person mode. And there's basically every other cutscene in the game, aside from after you beat the areas, is in first person, which is really cool. And I think they added bespoke camera movement to kind of mimic where Luigi is moving his head. Because, like, when you, at the very start, when, like, you're looking at all the paintings talking to you, I'm pretty sure that's all custom. Oh, there's a nose, too. So if I actually cancel this here, I saved. You can walk around this in this mod. That's just a cool thing. And fun fact, this is actually built into the game. You can climb this ladder too. That works in vanilla. That
really
works in
cool.
vanilla. Like, the collision for all that stuff is there, and just allowing Luigi to move freely in that room, you can just climb right up and out and into the mansion. And now's where we get really turned around. You never really see these hallways from the side, so they kind of look similar. And this room's a little tricky because we got two dudes in here. I'm going to try to spawn one of them instead of going for a double out of safety. Normally these guys can't hurt you, but if you bonk them after they grab you, then they will hurt you. And if you notice, darn, I'm still at 86 health even though I beat the area. I beat Chauncey. God dang it, get off me. There we go. This room is surprisingly hard because of how small it is. And you normally heal after the area boss in vanilla, but they made it so that you don't. Every little bit of damage I take is going to follow me forever.
I once played a game that also had a first-person mod for it that is normally an isometric game. And in that game, I found that aiming in first person and turning it into basically a shooter made the game a bit harder to aim, because normally when you're doing the isometric controls, things lock on better and you're expected to just kind of get close enough as you spin around and just get in the proximity of where you're looking at. Does that factor in a lot with this mod?
Yeah, there's not really, I don't think, any difference in lock-on, because the way that the targeting works, I believe, is exactly the same. I'm not, like, using a cursor to aim or anything, kind of like if you mod Metroid Prime to use a mouse or something instead of using the analog stick. I really wish this worked with that. That would be really cool.
That would be really cool.
But the way that you're turning a Luigi, like, if you have the camera where it normally is in the game, it's the exact same movement. It's just sidestep movement. So it's very familiar if you've played the game before. But there are a couple things that I think are an artifact of having the camera in first person that makes Luigi just a little bit harder to work with. Specifically with the doubles, it's really hard to get a gauge on where the flashlight is aiming. Hey, don't hit me. Oh, I got hit. So I was full health and now I'm 70 again. We're gonna have a lot of chances to save coming up. So I'm gonna be a lot less scared about getting hit. Oh, good, free heart. Sometimes you do get the pity hearts. Can I get a double here? No. And basically, because the game base is essentially the exact same game, just with the camera moved around, all of the setups for speedrun strats hold pretty much, other than the difficulty that's added to do them. So like that double there where I get the puncher to punch me and then kind of sweeps in front of the grabber. and then I can get them both at the same time. Exact same strat we do in speedruns normally. And it actually makes some things a lot easier when you can lean on that. Not exactly muscle memory, but knowledge.
Speaking of the typical speedrun of this, this is relatively new, and to my knowledge, like, you're the person speedrunning this thing right now, yeah?
Yeah, this is kind of a silly little side thing I've done, all of like 5 times at this point, to completion. It's easy to die. So there were other versions of this mod, but I can't remember exactly how far back they go. I want to say at least like 3 or 4 years, and I think at least 1 or 2 other people gave it a shot to quote unquote speedrun the game, but I'm not sure how seriously, and obviously things have changed. Please. Let me in. Okay, we can go save now. But in terms of this version of the mod, where there's a couple bug fixes, and I think some of the difficulty stuff was added in the latest version to make it more difficult for, people who speedrun the game. I think that the Hidden Mansion mode that I'm playing is meant for people who speedrun the game, to be a good challenge even for that. That's pretty new. So every time I catch a boo here, EGAD is going to call me and ask me to save, which is my lifeline for making sure I'm topped up on HP, because if I die, I don't want to get stuck in a place where I'm a mile away from progress.
Like you said, death is double the possibility now in this.
I would not be surprised if I get a PB simply from not dying. We're going to get 5 boos in quick succession here. Oh, good.
While you're working on that, I would like to recommend that everybody join the official GDQ Discord if you haven't yet, and add the Hotfix role. In that Discord, you can keep tabs on upcoming events, talk with staff, and more, and the Hotfix role is a fantastic way to keep up to date on all things Hotfix. Because, of course, we have a variety of games across our variety of shows. Use !Discord in our Twitch chat for more information.
One of those quality of life things I mentioned with the things that are just kind of packaged in with the first person stuff to make it not just playable, but just better to play. I didn't talk about R pumping. I can talk about R pumping in a second. One of the things that they disabled is key pickup animations. So Luigi doesn't, hold the key in front of him every time he picks one up. He doesn't hold the medallions in front of him, and any other thing that normally he does that for. One other thing that they didn't include is the ability for Luigi to get scared. So when we speedrun, we like to look up at the ceiling in the hallways so that Luigi doesn't get scared because it's slow. And it's also important to avoid getting scared by ghosts that spawn right next to you in basically every room in the game. But because Luigi doesn't have the ability to get scared in this mod, then we don't have to worry about standing in quite as specific places. And also the mirrors. Go ahead.
I can't believe this game would have you look up. Gamers don't look up. That was a slight shout out to the last run, but also just a truth, empirical truth. Gamers don't look up. That's not a thing.
Doom didn't intend for you to look up, so that's basically gospel.
Exactly.
This is really just a Doom clone at the end of the day. This room is also surprisingly hard because those guys aren't too bad on their own, but they're spawning in pairs. And I can't see them because they're invisible. Normally, there we go. You can see where they spawn and you can kind of deduce where they are based on the particle effects with the dust. Oh, that came out of the ceiling, I think. And he slipped on it with his face. Thank you, Luigi. I have no idea where this guy is. Okay, we're off script now because this one's spawning in. Funny spot. Okay, there it is. But normally you can see, like, look in the mirror to see where they are relative to Luigi, but first person, you have to turn around to catch them. It's really not helpful. The R pumping, the thing that I'm doing that kind of like flicks the screen around when I'm trying to catch boos, it's going to get more common later in the game as the boos get more HP. Cool. Basically, that's our way of keeping the boos completely stationary. It's arguably the most important speed tech in this game. And I'm going to be doing it basically on every boo because losing the boos in this game is like, immensely frustrating. And there's no way to make it any less sickening to look at. So hopefully, I would recommend people look at the health of the ghosts that I'm catching. So when I'm damaging a boo, look at like the number that's going down. That'll kind of center your vision, make it screen shake less. All right, we have done the puzzle, and we are headed back down. I'm gonna see if I can snipe this because we're in first person. Let's see if I can snipe that with a fireball. Come on. No, I ran out of fire. Trying to be cute. There's a couple places in this game that turn into an actual FPS. 2 boss fights later on that I'm very excited to show because they're the best part of this game.
That sounds pretty exciting. What I've seen, I might have an idea of which ones those might be, and I hope that I'm right.
So that butler, I need to stand there. Aye! That butler is coming down the hallway in the exact same way that we came. We are basically trying to clear this room as much as we can before he gets to where he's going. Because I went a little slow there, I don't think I'm going to make it. I'm just going to go in here for safety. If he sits down in that chair and I don't catch him, then I am losing like a minute. Okay, let's go back and clear this room. This game is really weird. It's kind of a quality of it that is hindering development on the randomizer right now, and probably will forever. Is just the way that this game loads rooms is extremely strange. Because the mansion is kind of all connected. Ooh, There's no like aim reticle. There we go. Hard to tell where the center of the screen is. So the way that this game loads rooms is if it's 2 rooms away from you, then it is unloaded. If you can't get to it by opening a single door, then it's not loaded. It doesn't exist. This game loads everything that is adjacent to the room you are in, which obviously has weird shenanigans with out of bounds because, like, what does adjacent to the room you were in mean? If you were like out of the bounds of the room. But for randomizers, like, it's really hard to do door randos when the movement throughout the mansion isn't based on like loading zones.
Yeah, that adds like a whole other layer into doing out of bounds if you know that you suddenly can't rely on the rooms even being there in the first place. Probably have to trigger them to get in, huh?
Yeah, I'm not a big knower of how to do out of bounds stuff.
Right.
But I do believe that we have to stand in some specific spots to make sure that we are able to land on collision and have things loaded in at the right time. Oh, don't go that way. All right, we've cleared an optional room in there, in the hidden room. We do that because the boo is easy to catch, and we need 40 boos to beat the game. And later on in the game, they get more HP, like I said, so they're going to take longer to get. And even though the hidden room seemed like it wasn't necessary, the boo is worth it.
Since a lot of Luigi's Mansion is about kind of like positioning yourself to be in the best possible place to deal with these ghosts and corral them, for lack of a better term, to get them to where they need to be, how much harder is that to do? in your average scenario. Obviously, we had the one where they're invisible, and that certainly didn't help, or the one where you had to look in the mirror, but are those just exceptions, or is this just harder in general for situations?
Yeah, one thing, it's kind of more of a side effect of being in sidestep mode, I think, than anything else, because when you're not in sidestep mode, Luigi tries to face the direction you're moving, which is really helpful for turning around quickly, because you can just kind of make him do a spin in place, and he'll rotate really quickly. When you're in sidestep mode, you have to use the C-stick to turn around at all, which limits you essentially to the speed that the game wants you to turn, and it's really hard to dial the speed that you turn in beyond that. So if you want to go slightly slower than it wants you to, you have to hold the C-stick, where is this thing? At a, at a half angle. You have to, like, feather the C-stick movement, essentially. And when you're trying to turn around and set stuff up with doubles, specifically the grabbers, you get grabbed and you kick them off the direction, like, behind you. So if I get grabbed, I need to spin around and then flash the flashlight towards wherever I just threw them off. And that's just tricky in sidestep mode. It's tricky even if you can see the whole room at once, if you're not in first person.
Mario.
Cool. We do not care about that room. I think I got him. Luigi gets scared in a couple places, doesn't he? There we go. How do you play this game in only first person? It's a lot of practice playing it not in first person. Like this boo hasn't moved yet. Good deal.
Yeah, I imagine your game knowledge helps quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of mods like this that change something very small about the game, but it turns into a big, meaningful change. Gotta water the plant. Don't have too much water left. There we go. Always gotta water the plant. It's gonna die if I don't.
I find it interesting that you say that changing the game's entire perspective is a relatively small change to make to the game, which as a person that is also like a speedrunner and stuff, I understand what you're saying. I just think that that's a very interesting way of putting it.
Yeah, play this game in an entirely different way. Small change.
Yeah.
But I think it's like the philosophy that randomizers work is that the meat of the game is so good, you don't have to change much to make it refreshing to play over and over. Oh, nice double. That was tricky. By simply shuffling items around and like making different enemies spawn in certain areas, you engage with the game mechanics in a way that you can't in vanilla. And like this, you're forced to actually enjoy sidestep mode, because sidestep mode is a category extension for speedrunning, and nobody really likes it. But in this, it's the same, technically like the same way you use the controller, but completely reimagined. I love this cutscene, and then you turn around, then lightning comes. Like, I love the camera movement. It adds so much expression to Luigi. So one thing that's weird about the boss fights in this game is that they kind of get really goofed up if you mess with Luigi's movement, or position at all. Bogmire is free. Yeah, having the easy suck-ups makes Bogmire just as easy as any other ghost. That ghost is really hard to one-cycle in every other circumstance.
Job.
But yeah, if Luigi's like moved at all into a different spot, if he turns, the way that fight works completely changes. And there's some cutscene shenanigans that also happen with this mod that, like, it skips some certain animations, like when the boss spawns in, the way that the camera movement works also probably intrudes on that. And most of the area bosses don't behave as I expect them to from hours and hours of speedrunning. I like the way that we set up the very start of the fight is different every time. So like Bogmire isn't attackable right next to Luigi. He was over in the like far right corner of the room that time. And Chauncey, the way that like the rocking horses spawn is a little different, I think. And the way that the balls he throws spawn differently. And that's something that's like true in our practice hack as well. It's kind of an unavoidable issue. This game is really weird. It has a lot of strange qualities to it. It's like, it both makes the speedruns hard to break. Like, it's really, really hard to sequence break in this game because it's a little ironclad against that kind of thing, and it's surprising that they built it that way. But it's also held together by duct tape in certain places.
I always think that whenever you get an opportunity to basically speedrun any game, it's fascinating to see how when you break it down to its fundamental elements, which parts of them are like, no, you have to do this, and which parts are like, oh, I can just skip that whole thing? Oh, interesting. It's always a fascinating thing to break it down, but also when you are doing something like this and you've changed your perspective or a core function of the game, not an element of the game, just a function of what your expectations are for the game. When you change those, sometimes those things become even more exploitable or other times less, depending on how those interact with the way that your perspective interacts with the game in general.
Yeah, like sucking up ghosts. It's way easier to suck up ghosts when the camera changes. And there's little weird things that, like, this game is held together by duct tape, I say. The randomizer devs have an ability... Oh, a lot of random damage in here because of the flying guys. The randomizer devs had a way to basically make Luigi move faster because, running around the mansion in this game is dreadfully slow, especially later in the game. We go up and down the stairs like 4 or 5 times. Oh, this treadmill is so hard because you have to go straight against the wall or you fall off. And by making Luigi go faster, nice shot through the floor, they essentially break the collision of a lot of things. Like, you can just straight up walk through doors, you can clip out of bounds with, like, complete abandon. And yet it's still really hard for us to arbitrarily go out of bounds everywhere. And that little bit of movement speed change is all it takes. Let go, Luigi. Any room with grabbers, I'm just learning to dread as I play this more and more. Cool. So this is one of the rooms that was patched. When I first played this mod, they added a couple things in a very minor update, but the dev accidentally restored the position of this chest to where it normally is in vanilla on this table. But they also took the flip switches out of this room for unrelated reasons to the fix that they deployed. So it was kind of like a regression. And I played it, and I went through a whole rigmarole to actually get the chest, like by heisting essentially my save file across versions of the game. Because I'm playing off my actual memory card right now. And I went and got the medallion, and I loaded back in, and I had the medallion. It was great. And they responded to me directly and said, oh, I'm sorry, I'll fix that. And then they did. So this is like, I feel like this is my way of paying them back.
That's really neat. It's fascinating to see, like, also in mods like this, when you change something else has to change, and you don't realize what fixing that does to a different thing that you didn't even account for.
Yeah, I feel that in my bones. I'm a software dev by day, so random things that break because you fixed something different is just so real.
I remember learning in there's something in one of the, I think it's SM64 if I'm not mistaken. There's like this giant mushroom that's off the map, and you can't do anything with it, but it's there because every single time the developers try to take it out, something in the game would break. So they just left it there.
The load-bearing mushroom, yeah.
Yep.
We're doing pretty good on health. I'm a little surprised I haven't had a health scare yet. Because if I get down into like the 40s or the 30s here, we're gonna have a hard time getting health back because we're gonna have to take risks to get it back. And not having to take risks is nice. Oh, this is another good part that's good in first person, like the room after this one. Oh, the camera like looks around at all the candles as they go out too. It's really cool. Okay, get the shy guy. Hopefully we get the double. No, the first one's really hard. Oh, okay, they both went away. There is a chance. No, I don't know where that other guy's spawning. The ghosts only spawn behind Luigi. So if you're in the wrong spot, you can't get him to spawn. You have to move.
That is an interesting aspect of this too.
So I did a spin there during that wave to get... Basically, I'm turning Luigi's back to every part of the room at once. That's kind of working. I'm just going to burn for safety. I can get 2. I don't think I'm going to get 2. Don't hit me. And like spinning is our main way of, when say you need to be in the middle of the room to spawn every ghost, spinning is our way to get all the ghosts to spawn at the same time and set up really fast cycles. Alright, it's time to shoot the moon. We'll see if I can bullseye it. There is no... I have not found any kind of consistent way to set this up. So we're just gonna wing it and hope we hit.
Let's go.
This whole area is really cool in first person.
Oh, this is...
That looks good. I think we got it. Nice.
Excellent.
All right, nicely done.
And as usual, Luigi destroyed the moon. Classic Luigi.
Every time. He's destroyed countless moons, countless worlds. He's worse than Galactus at this point. Oh, where'd that go?
Sucking up stars in the vacuum. You know how it is.
Just the world eater right here. I saw somebody mention the arcade version, or like the arcade Luigi's Mansion, and not a lot of people know that there's a fourth Luigi's Mansion game, and it is only at like your local Dave & Buster's. I've played it once, and it is genuinely hard with the hardware, but there are other ways to play the game that allows you to use like keyboard and other inputs, and it's much easier that way. It's a very unique game. It looks a lot like LM2, but it plays like no other game.
I've always felt Luigi's Mansion's kind of like extreme cleaning, except the filth is sentient and does not want to be sucked up.
It feels even more like that in first person.
Yeah, for real.
I didn't see the second guy. Oh my goodness. I see... there it is. I forgot about how bad this room is. We're gonna take... Baby... Okay, I forget I can do this. There we go. Now we're gonna heal. Not that. Don't trip on that. Burn that guy. Triple. Nice. Perfectly done. I think we're full health too. Perfect.
Excellent.
Okay, I'm gonna go do a mirror warp here to get back to the foyer. We're kind of on a, what do I want to call this? Like a tour of the mansion at this point. We have a lot of rooms open to us, and the reason is because we have a lot of objectives open to us. The goal is to collect all of Mario's items, and they're scattered around the mansion. We had the hat in area 2, but we got the letter, and we got the, oh, I need to go here. We got the star, we got the glove, we're about to get the shoe. Oh, the 2 worst spots, wonderful. The boos are random where they show up, so I kind of have to read the boo radar in the bottom right corner every time I enter a room. Or just pray.
Can always hope for it to be in the ideal place, yes.
We get to see the thumbnail for the most viewed YouTube video I own, or I made, right here. There he is. It took 5 minutes to make, and for some reason people click on it. I don't know why. Good old Henry.
Beautiful eyebrows.
So one of the things that it's easy to suck up ghosts in the sense that you can do damage really quickly, but one thing that you sacrifice by having the camera in first person is you get that, but you have no ability to control where Luigi is actually moving aside from backwards. So if the ghost is dragging you to a certain corner of the room and you're not, for instance, like now I'm got my back in the corner. But if Luigi's back wasn't in the corner, odds are of him staying in the corner very low. I can't get back into it. So these guys behaved, but because they like to spin around, if I don't back Luigi into the corner immediately, like they can just drag me all over the place, and obviously Orville can hit you with the plane and run you over, and Henry can hit you with the car and run you over. I think there's a banana on the ground. Oh god.
You compensated for that really well.
Yeah, Luigi, I think something to do with the way that the bananas like try to go in the vacuum, and if you try to do that when Luigi's moving, he just trips on them all the time. It makes no sense. Oh, okay. We get tiny Luigi for a second here.
Excellent.
Tiny Luigi cannot open doors. There we go.
I like how tiny Luigi in first person is kind of same size Luigi.
Small in spirit.
Yeah.
See if I can get a text skip here. I've never done this in first person, but I swear it's possible. No, I'm way too far away from the bed. Cool. So the mushrooms don't actually hurt you, and I swear they spawn more frequently in the Hidden Mansion as well, which is a quality that is also in the PAL version of this game, which is like double extra hard compared to English. But the mushrooms spawn like 2 or 3 more times as likely in that version. I think they borrowed that idea because they're everywhere in this run so far. But they don't actually hurt you. They make you take double damage, but they don't hurt you by themselves. So I've been taking like 30. Yeah, one hit could probably chunk me down for 60 HP if I get hit with a mushroom. Okay, this is the mashing section of the game. I love pressing A and B repeatedly for minutes on end.
That's when you know it's serious, is when the controller itself enters the webcam. That's when you know that it's serious.
Well, the GameCube controller clickety-clacks are just so good, I have to.
Absolutely. GameCube controller ASMR. I mean, we just had Smash Bros. On, earlier. The show before me, do all the things. Speaking of GameCube controller ASMR, so. Which, by the way, we will be rerunning right after this run, so stick around if you missed any of that.
Yeah, I played through the Subspace Emissary of Brawl with a different mod like years ago, and it's a blast going back to that. Like I'm sad I didn't get to watch much of the Project Plus run.
It's all right, because the VODs will be on youtube.com/gamesdonequick.
If the camera looks like you have no idea what it's doing, it's because it's complete nonsense there. I said that like pulling back on the control stick is like the optimal way to catch ghosts. Not that one. That one, Clairvoyant is weird because she wants you to catch her. So she actively moves towards Luigi, and the way that we combat that is like holding the stick away and then twirling the crap out of the C stick in order to kind of force her back and forth so that you can get the max amount of damage constantly. And obviously in first person, twirling the C stick, which controls the direction you're looking wildly, causes things to look a little bit, unreadable.
I want to point out that when Spud reached out to me for if I would like to do commentary, they said, hey, do you want to do this? That's the first person. It's going to be awesome. And I was like, oh, absolutely. I'd love to. And then they went, all right, second question. Do you get motion sick? And I feel like that's almost a necessary thing for so much of the tech in this is, like Spud was saying, like, moving around super fast, like almost like spinning around in the room, and lots of times trying to just get things to spawn where they should. There's a lot to think about when it comes to just movement, and most first-person games don't have you do this much spinning in them, I feel.
I am prone to motion sickness, and thankfully, I've been okay so far. So it's a miracle I can run Monkey Ball, being prone to motion sickness. But
we find a way somehow. Mm-hmm. Like I hate horror games. I don't hate them. I have a blind spot. I don't like jump scares at all. I hate horror movies actively because that's all that like I feel I get out of them is just the jump scares. But like Luigi's Mansion, technically a horror game, and it's kind of opened my eyes a little bit.
Thinking about like games that do that you consider, okay, well, you got to be careful about this one. This does motion sickness. I've always been really good with it. Surprisingly, ones that the only ones that have made me motion sick are when they're first person and they're like FMV games. Like, there's something about it being like recorded footage, but it's trying to be like moving as someone in their first person perspective. That's like, wait, those aren't my legs moving. That's not what's really happening. And my body rebels against this perspective.
All about the frame rate, like watching movies with low frame rate, and they have fast camera pans and stuff. It's just like, oh, my head. This is, I think, the best part of the game in first person. Because this actually turns it into a shooter. Like, you think I'm joking, but I'm not going to defeat these ghosts with the flashlight.
When the Doom music kicks in.
Now we need to mod this game to put the only thing they fear is you here.
Yep. So we're gonna clump them. They're just gonna get into a nice little ball here, and then we're gonna take this and go. And find that last 2 or 3. Oh, there was one behind me apparently. And then we're gonna try to. Yep. Nah, I missed them. We're gonna have a cycle 2. More shooting.
The only honorable way to finish this is with ice balls.
It
Oh,
makes
there's 3.
sense.
You're so fast. There's 1. Okay. Now the last one will not reform into a big Boolossus. Wherever it went. Hello? Friend? I don't see him. Huh. Are they under the map? I'm not sure what's happening with this. I did save on the last Boo I fought, but this has never happened before.
They said the line.
Hello?
Yeah, the classic hotfix moment.
I have no idea where the Boo is. I think I'm gonna have to reload that save. Oh, there you are. I have no idea where they went, but hi, there we go.
Perfect. Great job.
Right on time. Just enough to make me sweat. Maybe it was a draw distance thing. I have no idea. This game, like I said, this game is weird. It loads things in very strangely, and like I wouldn't be surprised if the effect in the background, like the shimmering lights and stuff, are an actual physical thing the Boo can move behind and go out of sight.
I want to take a moment here, by the way, to shout out that we, GDQ, will be at PAX East 2025 coming up very soon. Like, very soon. That starts, it's next weekend. It starts on Thursday. We'll be live Thursday, May 8th through May 11th at PAX East, and you can check out the schedule at gamesdonequick.com/schedule. I'm very excited for that because I will be there and I will be running Monkey Ball. But there's a whole lot of good stuff going on that entire weekend, and if you are attending PAX East yourself, make sure you check it out. But you can check it out either way, because we will be streaming to twitch.tv/gamesandclick as well.
A lot of good games in that event.
I would agree, but I'm biased because I helped put the schedule together.
Okay, we are in the phase of the game where we go up and down the stairs 4 or 5 times. But it is more... Oh, goodness. Luigi, grab the door. It is more interesting getting to, like, appreciate the wallpaper and stuff. And there's no
general,
texture
just-
mods.
Yeah, the
Go ahead.
maneuvering through here really is just like great to appreciate like a different view of the art on these levels.
Yeah, there's no texture mods. There's nothing here to make the game higher resolution. This is running on a Wii. This is the exact same thing we see when we're speedrunning, just zoomed in. This game visually holds up extremely well. And the shadows, you mentioned the shadows earlier on, were very cutting edge for the time. Like having this much dynamic lighting all over the place is extremely impressive. And you'll kind of notice that the lighting looks a little weird, especially the mirrors. The mirrors, when I get close to them, I think you'll see one pretty soon. When I get close to them, they like are really distorted and they kind of make Luigi's head way too big. Because the way that the mirrors and the shadows too work in this game is they're based on where the camera is, and the shadows don't mess up as much because obviously when the camera's over here, the shadows appear like they're, you know, behind the objects that Luigi is looking at, and they make sense. But with the mirrors, they're meant to be from like, you know, the dollhouse perspective.
I love that view too, like when you interact with the mirrors and it's like, well, naturally, Luigi's going to spin around, so off you go. And I do think that it's fascinating how they have those kind of like distinctions between like, yep, this is in first person because everything is, but not some of the other things like some of the cutscenes.
Yeah, if this game was actually in first person, there's the weird mirrors. It's just all stretched and stuff. If this game was entirely like built to be first person, having all the like the cutscenes and everything be seamless would have been awesome. I love when games do that, like the Half-Life approach of you never take the player out of the main character's shoes.
You know what I just realized is when you looked at that mirror and like looked down, it has that kind of feel of like a build engine game back in the late 90s and first-person shooters and stuff like Blood and Duke Nukem 3D and stuff, where, yeah, you can look up and down, but there's like this sort of distortion that happens when you go up to walls and look down or go up to walls and look up. It's interesting that this game has that too.
Yeah, it's having that weird perspective requirement for actually rendering efficiently. Can we get our double? I spawned the Speedy Spirit. I was wondering why that sounded funny. I need this guy out of the barrel over there. Hello, friend. Cool.
Oh yeah.
Let's catch this guy. There's never really a bad time to do this, I don't think. Oh, where is it? Oh, it's way up there. Winnable? There's so many mushrooms in this room.
Can't believe the game would have you look up like that. Rude.
Yeah, they hid the boo way up there. I couldn't see them.
Mario.
Now we're going all the way back upstairs because Nintendo thought it was a great way to make the game longer by giving you keys that open doors on the exact opposite side of the mansion. Please open the door, Luigi.
That's just Nintendo taking a page out of Capcom's book with Resident Evil right there. Oh, you need a key for this side of the mansion? That's cool. Well, you need a key to open that box that gives you a different key that opens a door that's in that room that you originally had the key to the first set of doors.
And all the Luigi's Mansion games, I guess other than the arcade version, because I think that one's kind of on rails, if I recall correctly. But LM2 and LM3 both have that problem of, oh, the game's about to end, time to go see all the stuff you've already done. And me being, you know, a completionist to a fault, has already torn those rooms completely apart and put them back together. So I've seen everything there is to see, and it's kind of just like,
No, that's very much like a survival horror staple, especially in the late 90s and the 2000s. That was very much what it was. Eventually things changed and people went, you know what, we can actually have the end section not just be going back through what we've done. It took a while for us to get there, though.
yeah, the blackout section in this game is, it reeks of that, but they don't just, ow, I got shot in the face by a pop gun. They don't just stop at the blackout. Like Area 4 is just marked by, especially if you don't know like the optimal route to go through this entire area. You spend a lot of time looking for stuff to do. Specifically in this room, like how do you trigger the clockwork soldiers? I've seen so many people play this game casually and not know what to do. Do not hit the dude in the fireplace, please. That guy does like 40 damage and I've died to him twice. I'm not doing it again. Okay, we're gonna try to get a Shy Guy 6-piece here. We got 4, that's enough. Or we got 3. That's high enough for me. I do kind of want more than 1 heart, and that helps, okay. Oh, we got another double. Perfect. This is like my main place to heal for the next probably like 10 minutes, so I really want to come out of here with enough health. this is the only ladder I climb. No, I climb to get out of the well, too. We never need to go down ladders. We only go up them because Luigi can just fall down the ladder, and he doesn't need his ankles. He's not using them.
Seeing Luigi's hands stab at that ladder was spectacular. I loved it.
Mario.
First-person ladder climbing is always awkward because it feels like you have to make it stilted in order to make it believable.
I think they should just do what Source Engine does, and you just launch up the ladders.
Oh, please don't slip on that. Okay. The hitbox to, like, get hit by the bananas is immediately active as soon as they hit the ground, but the hitbox to suck them up, like the ability to suck up the banana peel, is delayed. So they're dangerous, but unclearable for about a second or two. Getting lost in this room is... I'm getting better at it. This room is very confusing from like opposite angles because you forget which armors you actually have to hit. Oh, can we get a charge? Come on, buddy, charge me. No. Oh, this is perfect. Oh, that's not perfect. Go in the hallway, please. Nope, that's not where I want you to go.
Mario.
We're butting up against the limit of what our pumps can do with the booze in Area 4. Good, you went back that way. We basically get 15 R pumps and then they leave, and each R pump gives us about 10 HP without the boo moving. Please go in the vacuum. No.
How rude.
And this boo has exactly 150 HP, so I lost him due to some unfortunate... No, not that way. Oh my goodness, dude.
Mario.
Please go right. Alright, we're walking a bunch, but we can catch them.
Mario.
I am completely unable to catch boos in dark rooms, and this category does not light up all the rooms. So we have to usher the boo back into a lit room in order to have a chance. This is why we catch the boo in the hidden room earlier. It's like, oh, that room's completely optional. No, there's worse. Do a save quit here because getting out of the attic from there is a big pain in the butt. Because guess what? We're going right back downstairs. They put a key back up there and it goes all the way back downstairs. Surely they won't have me do that again. And
Why would they ever?
And then one more time after that.
Mario.
Oh, we've come such a long way. The sand physics and like the dust and stuff in LM3 is like a modern engineering marvel. I love how cool that stuff is. And like in this game, it's so simple. I kind of want these guys gone completely because they can hurt me while I'm doing the cutscene. And the guys on the flying around can do it too. I've taken like 30 damage just in this cutscene alone from those.
Mario. Oh yeah.
All right, that was a little glimpse of ice physics right there. We're gonna get more. The icicles in this room do 50 damage, last I checked. So I can
That's a lot.
get hit once before I'm dead, before I'm like in kill range. Good deal. They're random, basically, because I get pulled randomly, but usually not a problem. They're a lot scarier than they actually are. They sound a lot scarier than they actually are. Okay, another 150 HP boo, which means probably not going to one-cycle it. I did light up the the pipe room up there, though, so north wasn't a terrible option. It's the best way, though.
Quick reminder, by the way, chat, that your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits all help support Games Done Quick Hotfix. So if you enjoy watching speedruns or speedrun adjacent content, please consider subscribing or cheering bits to the Games Done Quick Twitch channel to get access to our emotes, have ad-free viewing, and chat with other subscribers during our replays. Such as the replay coming up right after this of Do All the Things and the show Parallel Universe.
Mario.
All right, we've got 2 portrait ghosts left. One is the final boss, and one is our friend Van Gore, who I believe EGAD has informed us about at least once.
Mario.
Van Gore is pretty cool in first person because you get sent waves of enemies, like smaller enemies to fight. And trying to get these, they're in waves of 3, so trying to get all the triples is a lot trickier here than it is in vanilla. This is also a wonderful place to say heal, which is really good right before the final boss. Because the final boss is a huge difficulty spike. I will complain to the ends of the earth about how hard this game gets at the very, very end for no good reason. Nice, got all 3. There's fast setups for all of these if we get in the right position on the right side or the left side here. Well, I don't think I finished my thought earlier. It's really hard to, if you get multiple ghosts in the suck up like I'm doing now, if they split up and go different directions, it's really, really hard to damage multiple at once, which is something that's not really that big of a deal in vanilla. Good triples. These guys are behaving pretty well, but the blue ones got away from me the other day.
I was gonna say, you're doing real well right now. Another triple.
Got 1 more left. These guys, I'm really far across the room though. I hope I'm there fast enough. Nice, that's every single triple.
Incredible.
And then these guys don't really count as a triple, they're free, you just burn them with fire. Hello, Van Gore. It's a shame Luigi doesn't look at all the ghosts straight in the eye, but he's short.
Yeah.
So.
Great job.
It was never where it needs to be. 50-50 shot, and I never can win the coin flip.
Rude.
I honestly think that the R pumps are easier in first person. I can't explain why. It just feels like they have more range.
Do not leave. Rude.
Yeah, I had a couple. I was scared of the mushroom, and I kind of dragged the vacuum onto the boo a little sloppily at the start. There we go. I'm also trying to do some fancy stuff with the C-stick to get the boo lower to the ground. It's much less likely that it causes problems when it's low to the ground. I love doing the artist room boo in this category, or in in this game in general, because when you do, you can save quit out of that room, which gives you a free safety save before the final boss, which is very welcome in this.
I'm very curious to see how final boss is going to, if it's going to play significantly different in first person or not.
Mm-hmm. The biggest thing is
like
I'm
it'll
not
be more
going to
dangerous.
be able. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to do my fast stuff because I don't think it's possible to avoid the Bowser moving. Spoiler alert: Bowser's in this game. Actually, we can read English, so y'all knew that already. Sometimes it shows up in Japanese, and you're like, I hope you could read. No. So it's basically, there is no script to this fight because, like I said, all the area bosses change because Luigi's always in a different position, and it goofs with the position of the area boss, and then things that we rehearse in the speedruns are very, very dependent on things being in the exact same place every time. Also, this boss can do 50 damage in one hit. Have fun.
That's a lot of damage.
And this is base, like, this is not enhanced damage either. It does 50 damage in normal English version. If you play on Hidden Mansion, you're taking 50 damage if you get hit by the combo.
If I had a nickel for every time Nintendo put Nintendo trapped Mario inside a painting in the 2000s, I'd have 2 nickels. Super Mario 64 DS. I don't know why I just now thought about that, but sure.
Super Mario 64 DS is so cool because you have to unlock Mario in a Mario game.
It's great.
Okay, that first fire was supposed to be during the cutscene, but I have movement before that. So this is the first fire that's actually part of the cycle, and then we get a spike ball. And I'm going to try not to take damage from this as I shoot it. Good deal, because those do like 20 damage on their own if I get hit by the stray hit. I really don't want to get hit by that, but King Boo is in a horrible spot. Cool. So we're going to get, hopefully, a 3 cycle here. I want to see King Boo go as close to 200 without going over. Price is Right. Without going under. It's the opposite of Price is Right. God dang it. There we go. Okay, there shouldn't be any spike balls near him this time. I'm also dodging the ice at the same time. This fight is really cool visually because the Bowser head is like looking down at you, shooting ice balls. It's so cool.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I got below. That's actually kind of welcome because we can get some health here for lucky. Because this is the only place where random heart drops can actually happen. This is a glitch in the main game. I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to get heart drops, like small heart drops, if you have enough money in the base game. But in this fight, they always give you small hearts. So they're like a special type of spawn that the mod maker didn't know about, apparently. And time is when King Boo goes in the vacuum. It should be fine. Yeah, time.
Great job, Spud.
That is a world record by 4 seconds.
No
Incredible.
way.
Incredible.
I'm the only person that runs this, but yeah, that's exactly.
Look, I don't care. World
110.
record is a world record. Someone in chat literally just asked, "What's the world record for this?" And we can now say you just watched it.
You watched?
Yeah,
you were
just
here.
saw it.
Wow, this was awesome.
This went so smoothly. I'm really happy with that. I
Yeah,
didn't have
you
like
played
any problems with health.
super well, and just this mod as a whole is very cool. All right. Any shoutouts or anything you would like to say before we wrap up?
Shoutouts to Sky Luigi who made this mod, and all the people that helped with like AR codes and other things that he was able to build on top of this. Obviously he couldn't be here without all of them. All the people who hacked this game. I appreciate the work you do. I need to play more hacks because there's not a lot of hacks for this game, and I really should. Thank you to my wife, who's probably asleep upstairs. Thank you to Astrid for sitting here with comms and making me smile a whole bunch. And
Yeah,
everybody
thank you
who ran the
both for being
show.
on.
Everybody for watching. Yeah.
Yeah. I forget. Did you shout out your Twitch channel yet?
No. Twitch.tv/EliteSpud. I play a lot of Luigi's Mansion. We made it on the GDQ Games list with Luigi's Mansion. I can't go this time, but maybe next time. We're going to push for it, and a whole lot of other stuff that's usually silly and a little bit cursed.
That is Elite_Spud, right?
Yes, Elite_Spud.
All right, well, that does it for this episode of Parallel Universe. I hope you enjoyed the Mario-themed mods that we had on. I know I did. This was a lot of fun. Congrats again on the world record. Huge. Yeah, stay tuned as we will replay both Do All the Things. That was right before this. Do All the Things is Mr. Shasta's show, where it's like completionist categories, and they had a bunch of completionist categories in Super Smash Bros. On. I commentated on one of them. It was a lot of fun. And then, of course, the show will be replayed right after that. And if you enjoyed Parallel Universe, or, just Hotfix in general, please make sure you're following twitch.tv/gamesdoneclick. If not, Parallel Universe is on every other Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, and there's a lot more cool content coming up. Next weekend will be at PAX East. We'll be live May 8th through 11th at PAX East in Boston. Just having a lot of variety of speedruns. That'll be a lot of fun. I will be there, of course, playing Monkey Ball as I do. And tomorrow, this weekend, actually, starting tomorrow, is our AAPI celebration. You can tune in at 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow for the start of that, and of course 1 p.m. Eastern on Sunday as well. It's taken up 2 days. It'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, please make sure you join us to celebrate AAPI Heritage Month with a whole bunch of talented Asian and Pacific Islander speedrunners. With that, thanks again everyone for watching. We are going to all go to bed here. But if you aren't going to go to bed and if you missed any of Do All the Things, stay tuned. We'll have that replay come